Good morning, guys. Happy New Year to you folks. I don't know what I'm going to play, hence why I haven't been streaming. Usual excuse, right? Yep, because we finished up 2 monitors last time. No. Oh, fuck. 2 Point. We finished up 2 Point last time I streamed, which is actually a pretty short DLC. It was only like $8 though, so. I guess. I don't know. I don't remember how much you paid for 2 Point. Was it a $6 game? Good morning, guys. Happy New Year. Guess what? Nothing's changed. It's just another year. That's changed down there in the bottom right corner. It says 1/1/2019. Oh boy. But you can't bomb bug too much. You know, basically, life is just like work. And basically, everyone finds an excuse not to work and they make holidays to celebrate random things. Because people need things, you know, to celebrate, right? Because that's really what makes life, you know, fun. So if you can take those occasional breaks and you have an excuse to do so. So, can't get really pissy about people being happy about a new year, right? 2 Point. So tonight we're going to cover the Reddits, some of the changes they made to Fortnite. Apparently they had all this stuff queued up before they left for the holidays, like I've mentioned before, which is good. So original game was $35, I guess. Then we got the DLC, which is $9. I don't think the DLC was worth $9. It was 3 new hospitals, a couple new diseases, none that were complicated. None of the diseases were complicated. By the way, you guys that live in Euro, which I know most of you guys do, these guys, my brother lives in Switzerland. He gets these from Migros, called Smams. They're like Starburst, but better. I really, really like them. I got these when I was in Switzerland too. They're like fruitier Starburst. They're a little bit softer and they're fruitier. It's actually just better. To be honest, they're better. Smams. Only at Migros. But they're pretty good. At a maxi bag. Yeah. Yeah, so you can't get really too angry about New Year's. You know, I'm getting old and cynical and jaded. Mainly because nothing really changes in my life. Partially because it's my fault. Partially because things I've tried to do just haven't worked out all the time. Generally, people get all excitable. Then insert meme about people going to the gym for 2 weeks on a new membership thinking they're going to be a person. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that I could ever attend a gym on a regular basis. I really don't think I could see myself ever doing that. I don't know why people think they can just go from a dead stop to like a full run, metaphorically speaking, with physical exercise. Because you won't be able to do that. You'll feel like shit, and then you'll quit. That's why I got myself an exercise piece of equipment for home. I got myself a rower. Ellipticals I've used before also work very well. They're very easy to use. Basically spent the last 9 months or so trying to actually just get in the habit of using it daily. And right now I'm probably about to 4 or 5 days a week for 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll eventually end up at 7 days. Maybe taking a day off every other day, every other week or something like that. That's really the key. Like, there's really no excuse just not to use it when it's in your house. I don't think I could ever use a piece of exercise equipment at a gym. Like, unless I have like this life-altering experience where I just attend the gym every day. Also, my nose is plugged, so it's really tough for me to eat something and then talk at the same time. So, yeah. I don't think I could ever do that. That's one of the reasons I got a piece of exercise equipment for my house.
Look at me flash, boss.
Oh. Happy New Year. Wish you a better and good year. Thanks, KSA, for the $1. Oh my god, is that a dollar? Is that a dollar? I think that's a dollar. Thanks for the $1, KSA. I appreciate it. Pretty sure that was a dollar. So for some reason the font color is fucked up too. Did you guys see that? What the fuck? Yep. Streamlabs. If I cared a lot, I would switch to Stream Elements. Everything I hear about Stream Elements is just better, and my experience with Streamlabs hasn't been the best in the world. As of late, they just came. They haven't gotten better. You paid for some of my smams, by the way. Anything in fucking anything in Switzerland is just really fucking expensive. Yes, thanks for the $1, KSA. Oh boy, should I add you to my donation tracker? Oh boy, I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Bam, $1. Thanks for the $1, dude. $1 into the new year. Good stuff. Done. Done. You're gonna be up there for like the next month, just all alone. But yeah, you can't get too angry about people wanting to celebrate the new year, you know? It's basically like people just find excuses throughout history just to party because, you know, life kind of sucks otherwise. If you don't have a little bit of good in there, you don't offset the bad, right? It's just a daily grind. Happy New Year, guys. Hope you guys have a better New Year. To be quite frank, now that 2018's gone, 2018 fucking sucked. I can say that outright. It just fucking is terrible. Financially, crypto just went down a shitter. All the anime last year was just garbage. I expected there to be at least one good game. Or not one good game, one good anime to come out last year. And I don't think there was a single anime that came out last year that was actually good. It was all mediocrely shitty. Which is actually strange, because basically every year since I started watching anime, probably 20 years ago. More than that, 24 years ago. There's been a good anime released every year, like a good series every year. I don't think I have a couple animes yet to watch from last year that might be promising, like there's a Gundam series that came out last year. But they're all just mediocre. They're just fucking mediocre. Which is fucking weird. Absolutely weird. I don't know. Games for last year were pretty bad too. There was Red Dead Redemption, but I couldn't play it. And it wasn't really anything not out of the ordinary, but rather spectacular. It was basically GTA, Western setting GTA, which is to say it isn't bad, but it's not really, you know, anything like mind-blowing, mind-changing, right? I did play Gris. Gris was actually a pretty good game, but very, very specific and very niche, and there's no replayability whatsoever in it. Just a good game. Very, very, it's not for everyone either. It's very artistically driven game. Emotionally artistically driven game, yeah. Yeah, last year, no real good games. I did go to Switzerland last year. That was fun. Did that for about 2 weeks. I was over there. That was pretty good, but also paid the money to do that. So, I mean, as far as just like stuff happening around me, that wasn't one of those things. I actually had to go out and get that. I had to do that. I had to spend time planning and money too. That was a lot. Not a lot, but it was a decent chunk of money. If you compare it to the amount of money I earned last year, that was a decent chunk of my money. Just like profit. That's unfortunate. But yeah. 2018 sucked, guys. I'm just gonna say it. 2018 fucking sucked. Hopefully this year is better. It's 6 a.m. I'm pretty sure all the time zones now are in New Year's, so hopefully 2018's gone. But it sucked. 2018 is just fucking terrible. That was fucking bad. 2017 was great. It was fucking amazing. Which I guess maybe you got your highs and you got your lows, So maybe it's some sort of grand universal schema that's balancing out. I don't know. You're the ninja too. It's like all the shit about Ninja now. Like he's just trying to make press for himself. Has to keep the hype train going. Because, Fortnite's not really working out in his favor anymore. So if he can't do it in gameplay, he has to make up for it in hype train, and that's what he's doing. So, good for him. He made a lot of money last year. A lot of fucking money. There's everyone and their mom is running articles about Ninja right now. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really fucking bad. Also, by the way, I'm not dropping frames this time, but I'm still having issues with my net. Apparently, the thing that I'm mining for cryptocurrency uses a lot of upload bandwidth. And I touched on this before, but it's actually really difficult to actually find. There's no benchmarks for routers. There's throughput, which is how fast you download, but there's no real benchmarks for routing. It's actually kind of weird, but there's no router benchmarks. Like you think there would be, but like the best I've talked about this. Like I think I touched on this last time I was streaming because I was having issues when I was streaming. But this just goes to show you, I have an expensive router. I have an 86U, Asus 86U. I upgraded from a 68U, which might have been a mistake. It might have been a mistake because I can't run DDWRT on my new router. However, even though the hardware is about 3 times faster than my old router, it's roughly 3 times faster than my old router, it may not actually be better because I can't get DDWRT for it. And if you guys don't know, DDWRT is a third-party software or firmware for a router. And your routers basically have their own OS. It's firmware. It sits on it. They load it up when you start it. It gives you your UE. And a lot of it has to do with how well it routes information. And you can take a really, really bad router, put DDWRT on it, and turn it into a very nice router. I'm not even joking about that. Very, very nice router. And I just have to make sure it's on the compatibility list, read the installation guide if there is any, and then you upgrade it. But I ended up getting a new router because I wasn't satisfied with the pings I was getting in Fortnite. That was one of my last-ditch attempts to try and lower my ping in Fortnite and, get a better connection. It did nothing. It did absolutely fucking nothing for me. I'm not even joking. It did zero. It did zero to help me out. And the downside is, like, I don't have good firmware for it. Well, I run Merlin on it, which is a third-party Asus firmware, which is still better than the stock. However, it's not as good as DDWRT. And one of the things, like I mentioned, it's very tough to get empirical information on something like a router because there's no metrics, there's no tests, there's no routing benchmarks for it. And the only reason this is apparent for me is because I have a bunch of computers on my network that are using it at the same time, which is something most people don't have. They have their 5 devices that use their network periodically. I have a bunch of computers running on my network right now. So, they totally use about 2 megs of upload, which isn't actually that much considering I have a 20 meg upload. But because they're spamming so much traffic, it actually is making the router work. But the router apparently just does not route very well. And there, like I mentioned, there's no websites that test. Yeah, I'm using about 2 megs of upload in addition to my stream right now, and it's a little bit worse because I'm streaming. But these spikes are mainly caused not particularly by streaming. This is caused mainly streaming tends because it's a base load. It's a base load of information that goes onto your network. Streaming generally causes small spikes and an incremental increase in your ping. Depending on how horrible your network is and your internet connection is, it can lead to spiking. However, this kind of shit is caused because I have all these computers on it that are sending upload packets. And the weird thing is, like I started streaming today, I probably raised my ping by about 2 ms, 3 ms. Spikes are a little bit worse, but generally this is being caused. There's also another reason I don't want to stream, because this is going to cause issues with, like if I play a first-person shooter. Issues with my first-person shooter. Spams. And I've been like, it's kind of weird because I spent, like, I was willing last year when I bought this router, I was willing to spend about $400 on a good router, and I ended up settling on the router I did because it was, as far as I can tell, based on benchmarks that were available, like on Small Net Builder, for instance, which is one of the few, if only, websites that tests with benchmarks like routing and stuff like that. Like, there aren't many places. You don't actually realize how important your router is to your network and gaming until you have a shitty one. And even then, even if you have a good one, they aren't all created equal. So I'm probably going to wait till CES this year, which is in about a week, where they're going to be announcing new products, and then I'll gauge whether or not I'm going to just buy a new router again. Maybe sell this one. I sold my old router, by the way. I sold it to one of my friends, which was great, by the way. There wasn't anything wrong with it. Sold to him for like $80. I had a 68U. I think I sold to him for $80. And great router. And I can have DDRT on it, which I actually think I really wish I had at this moment, because I could test it, I could benchmark it, and I can't benchmark it because I don't have another router. So I might also just get one off Amazon and then return it, or something like that. Maybe, I wonder if Best Buy has. Okay. Let's see, router. Because Best Buy has free returns, and I can just literally just run and get this, and then I can return it. Oh. Up today. AC 2200. Back here. 1900. 7000. 7000 is roughly the equivalent of a 68U. So this is an older router. I believe this came out 2 years ago. One thing I really like about Tracefinder, let's see, R7000, is it tells you basically about how long it's been out for, roughly. So this has been out for almost 2 years, 798 days. The 68U came out last year, or the 86U came out last year, excuse me. Yikes, look at all those price drops they've had. Warehouse deals is generally used, but for really cheap used. That bottom feeder right here. This is used, all the black lines. By the way, keep a great add-on for Amazon. If you care at all about prices and about organizing stuff or not organizing stuff, you know, figuring out, like, parsing data, keep a amazing, fucking amazing. Anyways, you have, like, here for, like, $. This must have been, like, 50? One was selling one for 50. Yeah, so even if you can put DDRT on something, the problem is the hardware does not change, and you can't upgrade routers. And honestly, I've tried there is a distribution of Linux that you can use for routing on as an OS. It's fucking terrible. The UI is fucking terrible. The router itself is fucking terrible. It's actually weird how all these well-known brands, like, there's people that talk about Peplinks, and there's like, you know, like, everyone will talk about their tried and true router. But, like, this year, or not the last couple of years where internet speeds have increased vastly, you're starting to figure out that those routers actually aren't that great. They don't actually do the job. The only reason, and, like, you just have a very raw benchmark, which is bandwidth. It's throughput. you have a very raw benchmark for how good a router does, and that's bandwidth. And basically, they found out how to game the score. So one connection, one client can get the full upload from, or the full download from your router, from the internet. But a router isn't about just funneling one connection through. It's not a point, right? It doesn't just go bam, 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 right? It's done. That's not what a router does. A router takes one connection and it turns it into a bunch of connections, right? And if it can't route all these different connections at the same time, it's not going to do its job very well. But throughput, especially for bandwidth, just does a bam bam thing. It's just like straight through. It's like your computer, straight through your router, straight through your modem, or whatever you have. Fiber has a different kind of modem, I forgot what they're called. Through your modem, straight to the internet, and to the server. A lot of things can happen in between there. But, like, it's just one connection. And, like, what I'm experiencing right now, as I showed you guys, this is a bunch of computers all trying to utilize my upload. Not a lot of upload either. Like, they aren't maxing out my connection. I'm only sitting about 10 megs at most, 11 megs at most, out of 23. So, not really that much of my upload. It's about half. And that's not even close to throttling. Like, you shouldn't be anywhere close to throttling at 11 megs. And this happens even when I'm not streaming. So, it's only at about 3 megs of upload being utilized by my other computers on my network. However, just looking at this, like, I know my router isn't really doing its job, and I can turn on QoS. QoS doesn't matter. It's mainly bandwidth. It's bandwidth sensitive. There's some packet shaping. Generally speaking, it's just for bandwidth. And you have stuff like this, which isn't bandwidth. This is congestion on my network. It's congestion caused by my I'm not paying. They want $130 for ping, for Pro of Ping Plotter. $200, not $130. $200 for Ping Plotter Professional, so you can see variance, which is basically what we're looking at right now, and one of the important factors. And there's almost no things on the internet that actually measure variance, besides like a specific download, and that's only when you're downloading. There's so many things that happen on your network just by existing, just in general. And right now, like, you can see this, and I can turn off my miners. Turn off my miners. And go, the spikes are gone now. There's a little bit of spiking, which is just normal. But basically, all my computers that were before were accessing my network are, they're basically sitting idle right now. And while you can argue that, not everyone's going to have problems with tons of computers connected to the internet, because they won't, this isn't binary. It's not just about reaching a maximum number of computers on the network that are just, like you just switch on from low latency to high latency, spiking. That's not what happens here. Your computer or your router has incremental issues with routing in general, which is right here. And it's just, it's not as, what's a good word for it, as, not abrupt, evident. It's not as evident as if I'm stressing the network. And that's the whole reason you use benchmarks, is so you can stress stuff, right? I'm not going to use spam until I'm done talking. Fuck that. I can't breathe out my nose right now, so. But anyways, basically all my congestion's gone. But it doesn't matter because, I have a busy network. And this just goes to show you, like, you're still going to have issues like this. It's just going to be much less evident, much less pronounced. That's a good word. It's much less pronounced. And it's just going to be sit here. And you could have basically a flat line as ideal situation, which you'll never have because even after you leave your own network, you have to go through the internet, which has all of its own problems, right? But the problem here is this right here is being caused by me, and these are not small spikes, and I've seen even some that go to the red, like 300 ms spikes, which is a pretty big deal. This is actually pretty lax right now, in general. Oh God. Anyways, and basically all my spiking is gone. But that doesn't help me because I'm having problems with it. And this is, like, this goes to show you, like, when I looked at Small Net Builder and I was looking for, I was looking at like routers on here and stuff, they basically just test wireless performance. That's like all they're doing is just wireless performance. And that's not really what just a router does. That's like an access point thing. but they barely test. They barely test routing performance, and generally it's just throughput. That's all it is. And I looked at the HTTP and CTF scores, cut through forwarding, where you want to focus, and this basically has one of the best. It's sucking down the bits right now, guys. Oh yeah, look at it. It's just like a fat kid on a Slurpee right now. Yikes. I think I might have just messed up my equilibrium here. Oh, it's settling down now. But even then, I didn't reach my full upload. Generally speaking, like, you can't utilize your full upload. You'll get close to it, and then you'll start eating a lot of basically chop like this going on here. A lot of spiking, but I'm not anywhere close normally. When I was showing you guys this over here, this was sitting at about 13 megs out of 23, which should be more than enough. I should have more than enough bandwidth for that, but apparently I don't. Apparently I don't. But HTTP and CTF scores. This is default firmware. They don't. This is another thing. Like, it's actually really difficult. Like, there's tons of websites that'll test CPUs and GPUs and everything in between. Right on a computer, they'll test hard drives, but there's almost no websites that test routers. Almost none that test routers. And this right here is basically, as far as I can tell, is the only website that'll actually use metrics and like methodology, and they'll actually test things and talk about it. There's almost no websites that'll do this, which is really fucking weird in this day and age. There's no one that benchmarks. You can look on CNET and what's the greatest router, but they don't test anything. They'll run a speed test and see if it gets like the speeds they're supposed to, and that's the extent of their testing. That's not really testing. It is, but it's not meaningful. It's not remotely meaningful. They'll like, and then it comes down to the features. Oh, which one has the slightly faster wireless standard or whatever. But like, even this is just like, they test the storage, which I've never actually used. I've had plenty of routers that have the integrated option. I've always just used another computer on the network for storage, so I don't really get this. I guess some people really want NAS for some reason. I don't really understand it, but kinda, I mean, every computer on your network's a NAS, so kinda weird. Anyways, they tested this. It didn't really matter. It got a low benchmark score, whatever. But then they said HTTP. I haven't looked into the specific methodology to see what specifically you're testing. Cut-through forwarding is how your router delivers you basically gigabit speeds. And they talk about looking at HTTP and ETF scores. What delivers the best. And basically very close to maximum. So this is out of 100%. At 99.1. Cut-through forwarding looks for throughput reduction when various router features are used. So the more your router, like I mentioned before, is like an operating system. You turn it on, turn on features, it weighs it down, and it gets slower and slower. So cut-through forwarding, although it specifically usually relates to bypassing the router. They had everything turned on to him, which is it's really fucking good, but that, yeah, if the router did really good, I wouldn't be getting this right here, so it's basically what this amounts to is me figuring out. I don't even know if I can, like, based on the information here, I don't even know if I can get a better router. Is like I might just have the best router, although I can't get one with DDRT on it, and this guy doesn't test DDRT, so yeah, it's literally one of the best routers you can get. I don't and this is like twice as expensive and barely better. And then, like, they don't even test all the routers, too. They just test various ones. Like, some of the newer routers you don't even see benchmarks from. Or they'll write a short snippet on it and they won't really test it at all. And the thing is, like, routers actually improve in performance quite frequently. So even the CTF score on this guy is lower, which is when you have all the features enabled. 0.1 and 68.4. So slightly better HTTP score. I'm not router test process. Simplify the test and only use 2048 connections. Tested using a shell script calling a series of Apache bench commands to download graphic image files of sizes 259, 2048, 259 kilobits using 2000 connections. Tests run for 60 seconds. Cut-through forwarding is attempts to measure performance with cut-through forwarding disabled or bypassed. Throughput without CTF enabled is typically reduced by 50% or more. Not all routers provide CTF controls and instead automatically disable CTF when certain features are used. So this tests multiple methods to find reduced performance. So basically, as I mentioned before, there's a method for bypassing your router, attempting to bypass your router with traffic, which can make things faster. But if you turn on any of your features, generally it reduces that, which is what they're talking about here, is comparing it to their normal performance and how much it's reduced. I don't even know if I have a... No, yeah, I do. I have a trigger for this. I've seen it before. I'll have to turn that off and see what happens. Not right now. Go. Nope. I can't show you guys this because it has my secrets on it. Nope. Very hush-hush. I've definitely seen it before. The problem with, like, they don't always, even though controls are something you normally see, like everything for WAN is under the WAN page, for instance. Sometimes they don't, they sneak it in somewhere else. design, guys. Sometimes weird things happen, like if they have a problem with their algorithm or something like that, if you disable it, sometimes it can help with stuff like this, with congestion. Routers are weird. Or firmware, OSs on routers is weird. But once again, so this is from basically one computer to another computer. As far as I know, it's not even using multiple computers routing from different addresses at the same time. It's all being routed to one computer. Which, while you can argue, is actually, you know, acting like multiple things happening at the same time, it's not really, because it's only one address. It's routing to one address. It's not routing to multiple places on your network. Which is where this is coming from. This isn't a bunch of information. It's basically relatively small information going to multiple sources on my network. CTF. Oh, it was removed from new firmware. I was pretty sure you can disable this in Merlin, which is the first I'm using. Huh. Actually, the opposite direction, or some of it's actually disabled. Jumbo frames can actually increase your latency as well, because it waits to send a packet. Packets are bigger, so there's more overhead associated with it. Don't quote me on it. Network is not my specialty. Networking, advanced networking is not my specialty. Runner is wireless offloading. Yeah, whenever you enable QoS, it disables CTF. That's the most popular feature which people use to reduce latency, especially when playing games, which is actually kind of weird. Because they're like, you use CTF to reduce latency and load on your router, and which, if you turn it off, can increase the load on your router and can increase latency, but you use QoS to reduce latency. They actually fight each other. Or possessed. Happy New Year's, dude.
Long have I wished to serve.
Oh my god,
you,
33 months.
Anoint them with their own blood. When in doubt, throw more men at it.
Bit late to the party on that one. Oh my god, broski. Maybe this year will be the year that I fix my donation tracker. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, I never even took you down. Boop. There we go. If that was a month ago, shame on me. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah. Oh, look at that. You're right there. You have a spot on my screen forever. How great is that? Oh. Oh. We should change the order though. Let's be professional here, guys. Let's be professional. Look at that. Oh, so much has changed. So much has changed. Wow. Oh boy. Boop. Have a Kermappa. He's been around. Maybe someday you'll be here for me to be successful possessed. Maybe someday when there's thousands of people watching me, you'll get to be here for me. I'm too niche for that shit. I don't think it'll ever work out. I'll settle with a couple hundred people watching me on a regular daily basis. That'll be when I peak. How many people want to sit here and watch me talk about routers? I guess if you're looking for... basically, the funny thing about this is it applies to all gamers everywhere if you actually run... if you play games, run a network. Basically, everyone does. You just say, oh, I'll just buy a really expensive router. But even then, like, we're looking at this right now, and it doesn't really matter. Like, once you get to a certain level, like, the router's price doesn't really even seem to matter that much. Comparatively, it doesn't even matter that much. Does it actually have a less score, or is this some sort of weird ranking? And see, the weird thing about this is, like, you can't compare it to, like, can't compare it to DDRT, so you have no idea what's actually going on. So I actually think that a DDRT router might probably just be a lot better here. Uh-huh. Yeah, you're just waiting for it so you can throw out your your 3-year subscription when everyone else is like 1 month. Yikes, Possessed. Yikes. If you're waiting for alcohol, or not alcohol, liquor stores to open, dude, please, broski. Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I suppose. Those always suck. I found the not settle approach kind of works out. Just end up lonely. A lot of people just settle for whatever they can basically end up in a relationship with until something better comes along. And then they have a fight and things are horrible and, you know, they fall apart. People move on with their lives. You hop from one relationship to another. One marriage to another. Depending on how things go for you. Yeah. Yeah, if you understand what you're doing and that it may not be the best thing in the world, and it's not sustainable, sure. Sustainable, everything in moderation. 6151. The 7,000. .3. What? The fuck? Both routers aren't very efficient when down or uploading small files, but did better with upload with download. So this is a weird thing. This is like this is particularly relating to just one client, like I mentioned, one connection. You know how Possessed when anyone says just trust me, red flag. That's straight up in there, like right there. You're like, yeah, just trust me, man. Just trust me. And I'm like, you know, maybe. I don't think we're quite there yet, but possibly. You know. You do you. By the way, Coke Zero has to be one of the best diet sodas in existence. Coke Zero and Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew. Hands down. Yeah, so even if I just went and bought it, this probably be just be slower than the current router I have, so it probably wouldn't help at all. Yeah. Only one's 7,800. Gold. This isn't even a test. It's doing so it doesn't even reach maximum throughput. This is an older. Routers have improved so much in the last couple years. This is even an older router. It has good hardware. It's from 2016, so not even that old. And it can't even reach full gigabit speeds. That's pretty insane. And they isn't even testing the HTTP scores. HTTP. They're all tied for 2.5. Fuck D-Link. D-Link can eat a dick. $280, please. Started from July 2017. Like, actually, that was like 3 years old, not 2 years old, because we're going into 2019. Ah, so May in 2019 is about 3 years old. That's getting up there. And 957. Yeah, I'll have to wait and see what comes out for CES this year before I pop the trigger on something. So, like, when products come out in CES, usually it takes about a month to a couple months before they hit the market, depending on what it is and how far they're stroking off their dick before they actually have a launch. So, if you have something like a new router, it could be ready to ship and it'll happen within the month. Like, they'll announce it and then it'll ship at the end of January. However, if you have a monitor like my PG258Q that you guys are looking at in front of me, it was announced, and then I think they launched it like 3 months later, so it came out in like March 2016. This actually kind of blows my mind that I'm already, no, 2017, already contemplating replacing my $600 monitor. My monitor definitely has something weird fucking going on with it. Like, a line will occasionally go across the screen. It's really fast. It's out there in like maybe 60 FPS is, like, you know, if you can consider 1 FPS and like a 60 FPS refresh, it's like that and then it's gone. But occasionally I'll see them. They're like hiccups. And I do wonder if there is actually still something wrong with my monitor. They fix the screen and then they send it back to me, but it's obviously not completely fixed. It was weird too with the screen, like fonts were getting blurry, which is really, really fucking weird for a monitor to fail like that. It's like parts of the monitor were getting blurry. It was extremely hard to actually discern that something was wrong with it. It looked like fonts are kind of jaggy and shit too. Really, really, really fucking weird. But there's a new monitor coming out this year that has, they haven't announced it yet, but there's a couple panel manufacturers that are producing monitors with sub 1 ms response times. I think it's like 0.7 ms, which is down to nanoseconds or picoseconds. I think it's nanoseconds. Getting down to the nanosecond level, but that's, you know, might not even be that much faster. You have to wait until TFT Central gets their hands on one, and they benchmark things. And once again, one of the few websites that benchmarks monitors. No, actually contemplating replacing this. This is expensive. I mean, I guess I could sell it then, but disable spanning tree protocol. So, like, it's kind of weird. In order to disable or enable these, you have to disable or enable options in the firmware, which is, I don't understand that. I guess. Yeah, so I don't even have that many connections. I have 300,000 maximum connections, and I only have 800 right now. '87U is an older router. The fucking model numbers don't even make sense. Model numbers don't make sense. Some older routers have better hardware, and they're slower than newer routers with worse hardware in them. Banning tree protocol. If I disable this is gonna fuck up my internet. Revert to an older version, do a complete NVRAM reset, then disable STP, the NAT acceleration. This just shows you how broken like firmware implementations in the router are. They're just like hacked together pieces of shit. Do you think routers are overrated? No, definitely not. Depending on how many devices you have on your network, you won't even be able to reach gigabit speeds if you have a gigabit package unless you have a newer router. We're just discussing that, yeah. Well, I mean, we're just talking about... So this isn't everyone. I have a very specific use case happening right now because I have a lot of clients on my network. But these spikes are because of my crypto mining, my clients, which isn't normal. It's not normal, but that's what's currently happening right now. No, definitely. You don't need a $180 router. As I mentioned before, you could get like a $50 router, put DDWRT on it, and you basically have like a $200 router. So, if, like, even putting aside my usage scenario, this is what I had before I ended up where I am now with streaming and with mining. I had a router with DDWRT on it. It was a $20 router with DDWRT on it. Worked fucking amazing. It wouldn't work nowadays, simply because it doesn't have the hardware for gigabit speeds, or even faster than 100 megabit speeds. It's a 100 megabit switch. They do anything to save money on routers, but you can get a decent router for like $70 and slap DDWRT on it. $50. Disable QoS, disable STP, disable hardware acceleration. Enable hardware acceleration. I haven't seen an option for hardware acceleration. Currently, I possibly could turn off hardware acceleration by turning on QoS. Ah, okay. They have two routers in store that are identical, and one costs $30 more. Yep, thanks, Best Buy. Here. You came out. This is not. So Best Buy is kind of weird, guys. Sometimes Walmart has the same thing. Sometimes Best Buy and Walmart you'll get a name brand product, which will have a very similar model number. Like even for vacuums, I've seen it in vacuums at Walmart. And if you look up their model number of like a Hoover, let's say, or whatever vacuum you can purchase on a shelf, it's actually a model that is only specific to Best Buy or to Walmart, and they usually make it cheaper so you can get something cheaper in the store that you think you're actually getting the better model online. They do that as a way of kind of gaming the system and play with consumers that are purchasing a product, because it'll look the same, just the internals will be slightly different and cheaper, so it will be cheaper to purchase. 8300. What? For instance, our 8300 here. Yeah, 8300 maybe because it's not a. There it is. Also weird, you can get it for $100 on Amazon, and what did it cost in store? Thanks, Best Buy. How old is this? Probably 2 years? Yeah, this is another. So this was released in January 2017. Let's try that. Okay. Here it is. Why can't they make it streamless? Because physics. Because you send an electrical signal through the pipelines of the internet to get somewhere. That's not the whole reason, definitely not. The speed of light would be a lot faster than what we're traveling at, even with fiber, because you have to go through transceivers on each end, and they add latency. Basically, any piece of technology that switches routes will add latency to your connection. And generally, your latency is determined by how far you're moving around the globe, or how far you have to move from point A to point B. But it's not as simple as that. It's not a straight line. It has different routes it goes through to get to point A to point B. A bunch of different pipes, as Senator put it. It is garbage. But you can put, I think you can put DDRT on these, so. Hardware list. Huh. It's not on here, guys. You can't tell which one of these, they don't even sort them by years, so you can't even tell which of these models are newer. And it's not by model number either, so some of these might be a newer model. It's not really kind of RAM you can look at either. And Broadcom, it doesn't tell you what kind of processors these are unless you look up the processor. Gotta practice, man. So a lot of it has to do with practice. I've actually been playing, as I've told you guys before, I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. No joke, I've played tons and tons of Heroes of the Storm when I'm offline. Tons and tons, because it's a fun game. It's a game that I very much enjoy playing. Just there's toxic. There are definitely toxic people on there, but for the most part, you can usually ignore them. My favorite one is the person that, when you're losing, the guy that's doing really horrible on your team will point out your faults and the fact that you're dying. When they're like sitting at the bottom of the damage board, they don't do merc camps, they just sit in the fucking lane the whole game. And they don't participate in team fights, and they think having like a high KD means that they're doing really, really fucking well. And it fucking doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. So they just sit there and they backseat you the whole game. Some of them are even good. They'll just backseat you just over and over and over again about how horrible a player you are and what you should be doing. And they can barely control their own character, which is really fucking weird. I'm not exactly sure. It's like misdirecting behavior, misdirecting feelings. You're like, I'm doing horrible, so maybe projecting is the right word for that. Projecting feelings. Fucking terrible sometimes. But honestly, yeah, if you're looking for a new router, you do not need to buy a $200 router. You can find some really nice, solid $60 router and then put DDRT on it. and you're basically golden. As long you have to make sure it's compatible. This is a list of compatible devices. For instance, my 68U is there. I kind of want to wait to purchase a router until they have 5 gigabit switches on them too, and that should be a thing. Probably this coming CES, you're gonna see routers launch with 5 gigabit switches on them, or 10 gigabit. Some already do. They're extremely rare though. 5 gigabit switch router. I know there's a couple. Let's switch. Honestly, it's not worth getting these, by the way. I've looked into buying these already, and they overheat. They have issues with basically bricking themselves, turning themselves into a fail. They look pretty cool, though. But there's no reason to get it unless you have like a file server or something on your network. I already looked at getting these last year. Specifically a new network card and then a router or a switch that's 5 gigabit. Are there any 5 gigabit routers on sale yet? There definitely are. This is January 2017, so this is 2 years ago. There's definitely, I've seen at least 2 routers that have BZ built in, which is 5 gigabit, 2.5 and 5 gigabit. And it's kind of weird. It's like, why not just go to 10 gigabit? Because 10 gigabit over copper exists already and had existed before 2.5 and 5 gigabit. And for some strange reason, companies just never brought that down to home, like the home level, fortunately. So a lot of people just never saw it. I never saw it. I never had the option to buy it. Unless you want to spend $800 on a Switch, which most people don't. There should be some interesting things this year from AMD. Definitely AMD at CES. That's actually probably one of the things I'm most interested in. I wasn't really interested for Christmas and not really for New Year's. It's for CES this year. There should be some promising things being released. AMD new processors, which should be extremely good. They have their new, what's it called? Not their new GPUs are coming out. Navi chipset GPUs are coming out, which. NVIDIA just shit the bed. I don't know what they were thinking with RTX. Just absolutely fucking shit the bed. So basically, you buy a GPU that has like half the GPU doesn't even fucking do anything unless you run RTX, and most people opt to turn RTX off because it's just a fucking waste and it barely changes anything perceptible in games. Instead of basically spending a lot of time on building something that could be faster, just all around, they spend a bunch of time. They wasted a bunch of time designing part of a chip that basically no one wants to use, even though they can use it. They just turn it off anyways because they want more FPS instead. But AMD, their new CPU should be fucking amazing. That's what I'm upgrading. When did 8600K come out? I think it was fall of 2016. 8700K release date October 2017. Yeah, so going on about a year and a half. Honestly, I just want to get away from like the occasional stuttering. I'm not sure if it's my overclock is unstable. I don't think it is. I ran some hardware benchmarks, like not hardware, burn-in benchmarks, like I ran Prime, and it didn't turn up any errors. Ran it for 12 hours, didn't turn up any errors. So, I don't know. Occasionally I get stuttering though. And one thing very weird that I've noticed when I'm playing Heroes of the Storm, for instance, is the game eats mouse clicks. It's not the only game that does it, which makes me think there's something wrong with my computer. Like, I've played other games where it'll just randomly eat mouse clicks just out of nowhere, and I don't really understand. Like, when I was playing Fortnite, it'd just randomly eat mouse clicks, and Heroes of the Storm would randomly eat mouse clicks. And maybe, I was thinking it's like, maybe it's my mouse, but I think I had the problem with my old mouse, too. So, I don't know, I just contemplate on just, like, buying another mouse exactly the same and seeing if it's a mouse. I don't think it is. I think it's something to do with my computer. Perfectly honest. I'm not sure. I still am not sure. And then there's things with, I don't know, like back when I played Fortnite, there's definitely issues with latency and low latency advantage. However, I do wonder if there's some things that were wrong with my computer. Still are, like when I play Heroes of the Storm, like I'll right click and the game just doesn't register it. So your character just keeps doing the same thing it was doing. So you just have to spam click to make sure your commands go through, I guess. This is 7000p. They have slightly better hardware. Sometimes, like I've noticed that they do is a couple of the companies just take their old router, like my 86U for instance, or my 68U, and they just replace the internals, and then they slightly change the model number. And sometimes it's faster, and sometimes it's slower. Like if they upgraded the model, it doesn't always mean it's faster, which doesn't really make sense at all. But that's definitely what they do. They either try to save money or they'll upgrade it so it's a better router. Like if they have a successful model. Crapshoot, sometimes they upgrade it and sometimes they don't. I believe this is a 68U. Hardware, basically a Best Buy exclusive model, equivalent of the 68 series, which it looks identical to. Different hardware internals. Yeah, I don't know. This is a convoluted thing that we go through, guys, where I just want, like, this isn't really, you can just throw money at it, because even if I threw money at it, it wouldn't guarantee that I'd get a faster router. Then I'm just stuck here looking and trying to parse information, which I've already done when I bought the 86U, and doesn't really change anything. Nothing. So, wait till CES and see what happens, I guess. So technically, as far as I can tell, I basically have one of the best routers I can buy, unless I spend $100 more. Actually, I wouldn't be able to get my money back, so $300? $360? Oh, it's only $290 now. Wow, that's so much better. The price of a graphics card. You upgrade it every 2 years. Funny thing about this is, so if you guys didn't know, when you have a bunch, these are antennas, and when you have a bunch of antennas like this for faster speeds, it's like having a bunch of connections that work in tandem with each other. In order for you to actually get the amount of speed that they're suggesting, you basically need, your device needs to be able to handle this many channels and have this many antennas in the device in your hand. Your cell phone generally only has 2 or maybe 3 antennas built into it. 2 or 3. You'll never be able to get the full speed out of this thing. It'll sit there at like 800 megs. Still pretty fucking fast, but megs. What am I at? Pretty close to my router too, so 866 megabits second, which is pretty fucking good. And this is technically 2900 megabits per second. No. 533.4 megabits per second. So 5,334 megabits per second. So technically 5 gigabits, but once again, your device has to have like fucking 9 antennas. And of course it had 8 antennas, but of course it has to support it as well. So generally 8 antennas, and almost no devices can do that, so basically pointless. Essentially pointless. AX was supposed to come out too, that was supposed to just be better, and it didn't happen. I don't know why AX never went anywhere. Maybe they're still producing routers. Maybe this year is the year AX. AX Standard came out like 2 years ago, though. Oh, there's an app to test your router. Wow. I bet it works so good. Wow. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. It shows you the traffic on your router. What? Dang, I have an Asus router. Give me one. Probably not that useful. .5 stars. Yeah. All reviews. Great app, very buggy though. You can't read just the top reviews. Apps are useful, as the ability to remote manage the router, which works most of the time. Some of the downsides are, whilst it allows you to set custom device names, it does not retain the name. Duplicate devices which cannot be removed. That is from a couple weeks ago. So, last week. No longer finds my router. App is only able to detect the router if ASUS is the name of the router. What the fuck?
This is my odyssey. This is my illusion.
No longer sees my router. Ah! They introduced a bug in December that made it so it won't find your router unless it has ASUS in the name. Cool. App development is just a fucking shit show. You think PC, like, game development is a shit show. Like, if you can literally just write it, like, figure out a timeline of, like, an app of just when they break shit and then when they fix it again, just based on the reviews for the device. Pretty cool app. Afraid to install it. Sometimes, like we're talking about cut-through forwarding, if you install some apps, sometimes it'll just slow down your router, so it's not even worth having them on. Oh, this is pretty cool. You can see if your network is congested. Basically, you can see whether or not your network's getting maxed out or there's a problem outside your network, which is actually very, like, a bandwidth measurement like this is actually very useful. This is a 2-year-old router, so they're probably, yeah, this is 3 years old. So they are probably set. Basically, barely has went down in price. They're probably set for a new router this year, guys. Maybe this is the year of the router. Fuck 2018. Our new year, new you ambassadors. Does this stuff work? Do people buy shit because they make a store? This reminds me of like buying a fleshlight or something where they have a store for a girl and then they make a product and they just basically just fill it with shit that they already sell. Or I guess guys, dildos, you know. I don't know, she's a popular athlete or something. Very cute. Oh yeah, rugged as shit. Oh yeah, sports premium protein. Oh, look at those tires. You know he fucking is an athlete when there's tires in the background, guys. Oh yeah, that fucking. Oh baby. Those are some good Holland tires if I've ever seen them. Mm-hmm. Rocky movies, just like straight off the bat right there. Oh, and the portable speakers. Wow. Uh-huh. Yep, you're sitting on the bench cooling off. Uh-huh. That has to be, like, having a beard like that if you're an athlete and you work out constantly has to be the most annoying thing in the world. You sweat so much, and, like, if you have sweat and anything covered with hair, like your head, for instance, it gets profusely hot. It has to be super, super, like, a pain in the ass just to have on all the time, just wearing a beard. Wow, we learned absolutely. I'm glad we visited those celebrity stores, guys. I'm trending! Look at me! Wow, I'm gonna buy products now. Huh. There's basic troubleshooting steps on Amazon in one of the pictures. That's a good sign. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually pretty interested to see what they're gonna talk about this year at CES. That's next week. CES, I believe, is next week until the 10th. CES dates 2019. Yeah, 8th to the 11th. So about a week from now. Basically exactly a week from now. CES will be going on for 3 days. We'll get there'll be plenty of tech hardware to talk about, guys. Once this happens, I am very, very excited to see what happens this year, because I've already been hearing whispers about things that are going to come out this year, and a lot of it is really good. So, fuck you 2018, you did absolutely fucking nothing useful. Fuck you 2018. Welcome to 2019, guys. Hopefully you're a better year than 2018. And from what I gather so far, probably will be. So, yeah, hopefully, guys. New year, new you, right? Or just basically the same you, but pretending you're new, which makes you feel new. It's like mind over matter sort of thing, right? Go visit, at least visit the gym for 2 days or 2 weeks and then get bored of it. You know, people make fun of people for doing that. But it's better than not. So, you know, like I said, I can't do that. And I've recognized the fact that I have no motivation to ever go to a gym ever. and then I bought a water rower for my house. So basically something that like I can look at it and go, I should probably work out, and then I do. So can't do that with the gym. You're just like, oh, it's cold outside. I don't want to go in the rain and the snow. It is like we had a slush storm like yesterday too. It was just fucking nasty around here. I don't want to go out in the snow. Speaking of which, I still have to work on my car. I'm trying to put together a list of shit because I need to replace my bearings. They aren't bearings. Strut bearings. Oh, bearings. Yeah, strut bearing. Yeah. My brother was trying to convince me I didn't know what I was talking about the other day. Strut bearings. They're on the top of a McPherson strut, which is on your front tire, and there's a little guy up there that turns and twists when your car turns and twists. It's mobile, and eventually they seize up and break, and shit gets in them and gets pounded in there, and then they stop working properly. Anyways, I got to tear that off, and I got to replace my bearings, and I have to do one of the struts is bad. So basically I have to do struts and bearings, and I might need to do springs too, because my particular car has problems with springs. It's just really expensive. I've been putting it off because I don't want to spend all the money. I have a shopping cart full, and it's like $400 right now. $300. And if I get springs, they're going to be like an extra $50 a piece. Yeah. Get some kib struts. And I guess some other things. I got to get the strut bellows as well. They're the things that go over the top of the struts to hide them. Been putting that off probably for a month already, where I knew, because it makes creaking sounds. If you ever turn real tight, it makes creaking sounds in one of the sides, or when you go back and forward, you hear a clunk clunk, reverse and forward on your car, one of your sides. It's usually the strut or the bearing. Specifically turning, I believe, is the bearing, like when you're doing a tight turn around a corner. If you're cranking and crunking or stuff like that, that's usually the bearing. Back and forth, clunk clunk, is usually a strut. Also, if your car is like a fucking trampoline, when you push on the side and it goes like boom, 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 like that, that's a strut as well, because that means your springs are good, but your strut's bad. Usually if the springs go, your car just, it's like a pancake and just sits on the, like, little shit at the bottom of the strut, because the springs, basically springs hold up the strut, and the struts absorb the shock. It's actually pretty cool, but a pain in the ass to actually fucking deal with it, and especially because you have to compress the springs, and they have a lot of energy in them. You compress them, so kind of a bit dangerous too, but just practice good safety. So hopefully I'll come back with all my fingers crossed. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I have to do my struts. I have an entire shopping cart full of shit just to do. I haven't ordered it yet. I just get it off Amazon too. They want to charge me $16 in shipping and handling. The weird thing is, if you order off Amazon, guys, you aren't always guaranteed that you're getting an original product. That's something I've learned from Amazon, especially with clothes, is there's rando sellers that will try to sell you something that is virtually identical to what you're purchasing, but isn't. Counterfeit items. They're actually pretty big. I got socks. Clothing is the last thing I'll ever order from Amazon. I am 100% done ordering clothing through Amazon. Either don't get what you want, it's like something weird, just like noticeably different, or you'll get what you want, it's just like an inferior product than something you can buy at Walmart, which doesn't really even make sense. You go to Walmart, you buy socks, and then you buy them off Amazon, you expect the same socks, they're like the same exact thing, and like you get the socks from Amazon, and they're different, and they're just worse. They're like thinner, and like the font's slightly different on the sock or something, and like it's slightly off, basically Chinesium shit. Disappointing as fuck, but it's something I've learned is just buying off Amazon. Bad idea. Bad fucking idea. Buying clothing off Amazon. It's the same thing like with auto parts. I'm pretty sure I've gotten bootleg auto parts off Amazon where they just, like, there's a supplier or like one or two people selling them, and they just, even though they have the part listed, they'll send you the part. It has the same model number on it. It's just not the same part that you can get from like an AutoZone or Auto Parts Warehouse or something, and it looks virtually identical. It's just usually like the fonts are changed in different areas. Basically in China, there's like nothing for IP laws over there, so basically they can copy paste anything they want and just sell it, and then get people on Amazon that'll sell the same shit, And, you know, they'll just go, oh, I didn't know any better. It looks the same to me. You know, but really they know that they're just buying a product from a supplier that's selling something that's not exactly what you're ordering. And basically, you think you're going to get, like, exactly what you order, but then you order it, and then you realize you don't. And it's really weird. Like, it's like basic items that are very not similar, but you can easily reproduce them. Like producing hardware, forging hardware. Forging hardware is much more complicated. Still possible, but very, very much more complicated, especially for something advanced like a router, is very difficult to do. But like basic items like clothing, shocks, struts, just like slapping a name on something that's virtually identical to something else, and then people generally don't notice, and you're just selling an inferior product, and you increase your revenue, you increase your profit by like 15, 20% based on how cheap you're getting this shit and selling it to people for this relatively the same price as something that is original, right? Which is fucking weird. Like, it's something you wouldn't think you'd encounter online, but you definitely do, especially shopping on Amazon. It's not guaranteed that you're 100% going to get the product that you're ordering, even though it'll look and basically be very similar. Clothing, worst experience is shopping for clothing online. Never doing that again. Never, never, never. I like ordered a pair of socks last year. I was like, I'll try it again because I had some bad experiences beforehand. And then I got the socks, and they aren't the socks that I got from the store. So I was like, something's quite not right here, you know. And they still work. They're still socks, right? But they aren't the socks that I wanted. And I'm a big guy. I have big feet. It's actually, you don't realize this, guys. It's very difficult getting nice socks if you're a big guy. I'm not even joking, because you have really big feet, and they'll like I fit into like the 12 to 16 size category. And that's really, really stretching it. And, like, they'll say size 16 shoes, but that's really, really, you gotta pull that guy on there. And honestly, just your feet just feel bad when they're constantly constricted like that. So, unfortunately, and big and tall, haven't really found a lot of options for that, especially cheap options. I don't want to pay like $20 for a pair of socks. So, sucks being tall, right? Sucks being short too. I wouldn't want to be like a 5-foot guy. That'd be insane. You actually kind of feel bad. Like, I've read some things, like, I'm a tall guy, so it's never really crossed my mind, but I've read some things about people, like guys that are shorter, and it's actually because it's not a very masculine quality at all, and it's something a lot of people judge you on, is based on the height. And there's people that do things like, I was reading an article on people that do bone surgery, where they get their bones lengthened to get like an extra not even 4 inches, like extra 3 inches, by having their bones broken and then stretched out a little bit, and then the bones will heal themselves in between, so they'll stretch out like their femurs. Like, really, really, like, insane stuff that people do. I guess they do it for penis enlargement too, but like, just like stuff people do to get ahead in the world, basically. And it's, you know, I talk all the time about like people aren't created equal, because we aren't. We're just like these giant bowls of genetic mutation, right, that just happen out of nowhere. Squirt a spermie and an egg together, you know, they meet, and then boom, I'm here. And I might not win the beauty contest, but I'm not a short guy, so, you know, there's short guys that are pretty attractive, and then you got tall guys that are relatively attractive. So it's just the way of the world, right? It's just the way things work out. Yeah, like, I just, like, it's not something that really occurs to me, because I've always been a tall guy, but some, like, shorter guys that just end up, like, it's one of these things where people are animals. They are 100% animals. Some people are better at actually being not introverted, but introspective. Like, they actually realize what they're doing and stuff they talk about and things they do. Almost everyone, like, being unbiased or impartial, objective is really difficult for a lot of people, because they're just intrinsically animals, and they act like animals, and let us do things that just benefit themselves all the time. Me, which is why a lot of people are bad at video game development. And I talk about how bad they are at video game development, because like, the moment you hear them talk about balancing, you just look at what they do. Like, you can just like easily not really throw it out, but like, oftentimes you can just look at what people do and then just compare and contrast it to like what they're suggesting. Like, oh, I don't like this gun, and then they die to it a lot, and you're like, you know, it could be that the gun just has issues, right? It could be that the gun has issues. However, like, just some people oftentimes will suggest balancing changes that only affect them and make them, you know, like, basically show off their skill. Like, oftentimes with Fortnite, I'll talk about video game development and like some of the changes that people are suggesting in the game are just really asinine. They only do it because it's for their benefit, and they don't take into account that there's tons and tons of other people playing the game, and that maybe more than one kind of playstyle is beneficial to people. Speaking of which, we're going to get into Fortnite here in a second. They had a patch update, content update Tuesday. I think they added a boombox to the game, which is kind of fucking hilarious for multiple reasons here, and it's not for the reasons that you think. But anyways, here we go. First, I think, yeah, so AX is coming out. I think they just have the first foray routers are coming out now. So AX has been standardized for years, but they're only now introducing AX. And these are pre-certified routers, I believe they're called. I read this article already. They compare the bandwidth, which isn't really... These are first gen, like, not even first gen. These are like alpha gen routers. I'm 6'5". I'm not 6'2", 6'5". And 280 pounds, and that's actually no joke. I'm a big guy. You can't tell, because when we're online, we're 1080p all in the same box here, but I'm a big guy. Those things. But anyways, this right here is like I said, small net builder can't completely discount it. It's like one of the only resources. Oh, excuse me, guys. Small net builder is one of the only resources online for benchmarking routers. So it's basically where I keep coming back to, and they occasionally have articles here. They're basically explaining why 160 megahertz is the new U sort of thing. And these are pre-certified routers, so they're basically like alpha routers. They aren't even Gen 1. They're alpha routers. And they're barely better than AC. Barely better than AC. So, kinda better, but not really. And the funny thing about this... Go away. The funny thing about this is they've only... he only did, like, some wireless. He didn't even benchmark them. Yeah, he just did wireless benchmarks. He didn't even benchmark the routers. So he has routers here, tested the wireless performance, and then didn't even make a review on the routers. Which is still, I mean, that's still better off than not doing anything at all, right? Because there's no competition here. However, at the same time, that's not the only thing you want out of stuff here. Like, you want actual, I mean, you want benchmarks, and he didn't give you any benchmarks. He just, like, here, take a look at this, like, introduction article on routers. On these two routers that are coming out. Anyways. Yeah. Routers. So, AX routers. So, there should be new routers that are pretty interesting this year at CES. So, this is going on the back burner. Gonna wait for that. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Let's cover the Reddits here real quick. By the way, this is one of the few tests I've found that helps test, like, variants. Which it will send a bunch of small little packets at you and test to see, you know, the response time on the packets. This is one of the few tests, and it's specifically for a chipset that had issues, which is a DOSIS 3.0 chipset. It's going out of phase now in favor of newer chipsets. But basically, if you have little red squares there, it's generally an indicator that there is problems with your network. So. I don't know what the zeros and the ones mean. But anyways, when I'm not using this particular software I'm mining with, not this particular coin I'm mining with, this will generally just be a little bit yellow with some orange in it. Another indicator, by the way, that you can't just having a website say, oh, this router is good, and then you actually stress it a bit and you find out stuff like this happens, you're like, maybe not the best in the world, but, you know. Anyways, moving on. Let's cover the Fortnite Reddits here. There is a new patch, I believe. Check this out. Fortnite news blog. December 20. So we're gonna do updates. So this is what they added to the game. What's new? Boombox. Oh boy. There's a tape deck on it too. Wowee. So the funny thing about the boombox, guys, drop the base with the newest item available in the Battle Royale. In Battle Royale, the boombox. Crank the volume and toss it at enemy structures to tear down their defenses. So I've not hypothesized. I fantasized. I fantasized about, like, because spam build meta is so ridiculously fucking broken in Fortnite. It is insane how broken spam build meta is, because there's no downside to building. You can build fucking forever until you run out of mats. There's no downsides. There's no stamina. There's basically no mechanics to building itself. That's as weird as it sounds, besides, like, editing. When you put down the pieces, like, there's no finesse to it. It's just spamming out materials as fast as you can to cover to take area control of the area. And explosives, people don't even carry explosives around anymore because they don't do their job. They don't fucking do their job. And I actually fantasized a couple months ago. This has kind of been lingering in the air probably for about, I don't know when I first talked about it, maybe 8 months. It was back when I was still playing Fortnite 8 months ago, a long time ago. I kept talking off and on about how you just want something that just fucking eats the shit out of people's buildings, like fucking like Spider-Man. I always talked about the Spider-Man movie. I forgot which one it is, but basically there's like these nanites that eat buildings, right? And basically they throw it on like the Empire State Building, and it's a big action sequence, and basically the whole building gets eaten by nanites. And I was like, we need something like that in the game where it just eats any interconnected structure. This kind of does that, which is it's AoE radius that produces, well, music, but it's basically, it vibrates buildings apart. Thanks, Donald. Thanks, Donald Mustard. Donald Mustard watching my streams again. He must be getting low on ideas if he's starting to actually put stuff into the game from months ago. Getting low on ideas, Donald. But this guy right here, essentially it blows apart bricks, and the further out, basically the radius around it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's gone. I've seen it used a couple times. Apparently, you can shoot it and it explodes. So, it's not gonna be a game changer. Someone's gonna see it, they're gonna shoot it, and it's gonna die. Actually, I think it has 600 health. Second here. Newly built walls in the blast radius. In the radius of the box are destroyed with every blast. Activate to create a powerful blast of music that deals structure damage in a large area. Shoot the boombox to stop its effects. So it doesn't actually say. Creative updates, purple text I don't care about. So it doesn't actually say how much health it has. I believe it's 600. So these are like the little updates they're doing while their dev team is on vacation. They're adding these little snippets to the game, and this is one of the new items. Let's see. Fortnite weapon stats. Oh, no. Gamepedia, done. Box here. Ad-free experience. Wow, I already have an ad-free experience. Box. There isn't an article for it yet. As far as I know, it has 600 health. That's just what I've read, so I've watched from watching the stream. I don't know if that's true, so take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, you throw it down, and it just pulsates and slowly destroys the structures around it. Problem being, it has low health, and you can destroy it relatively easily. It really should have been something where it, so the way it works right now is the closer materials are to it, like I think it's the closest radius gets damaged first, and then when those walls are gone, it'll expand the radius, and then when those walls are gone, it'll expand the radius again, and then when those walls are gone, it'll expand the radius again. The alternative is The radius keeps expanding regardless of where the walls are. It's on a timer, so basically every boom it'll increase the radius regardless of whether or not it knocks down a wall. I think actually that's probably the best way to do it. I don't know if that's how it does it. If it's expanding radius, depending on which walls it destroys, it makes something where you could either corner it up or it wouldn't be effective and people can destroy it. If it was something where the moment you put it down, it just had an ultra wide radius, it'll just vibrate the whole thing apart. It would make it more difficult to deal with something like that because it'll just create a null zone around the boombox. And if it doesn't do that, which from what I've seen it doesn't, it just means people can actually just shoot it and blow it up. So when you try to stream snipe Ninja doing, so Ninja had a big thing on Twitch. Yeah, didn't watch it. It's a YouTube channel. I was gonna say you can't do this on Twitch. They ban you. Maybe I should stream on YouTube. Maybe I should just give up my Twitch career and accept that I won't be big on Twitch and go stream on YouTube. I've thought about it. I thought about, guys, there is basically no competition. This guy looks squirrely as shit. There's almost no competition on YouTube gaming, so. Why does this have 5k upvotes anyways? What? So this is what a stream sniper looks like, just like Dakeen says, "Oh my god, my mom, I killed Dakeen, oh my god, mom." This 12-year-old kid's screaming while doing it. He's gotten donations and subs. Well, I guess subs on YouTube is not the same as subs on Twitch. Subs on Twitch are, people that donate money each month, or not donate. They subscribe to your channel, and you get a portion of the money that they give to Twitch every month. Subscriber on YouTube is basically someone that follows the channel. That's a follow. Oh, he has followers here, so maybe this is different. Maybe they have subscriptions on YouTube now? He has his little tracker down here. Thanks, Mom, for making that, by the way. I think this is YouTube gaming. Oh, it's Discord. Yeah, this is his YouTube channel. So I guess subscribers, they have subscriptions on YouTube now? I'm not familiar with that. As far as I know, subscriptions were basically just people that follow your channel, but he has followers here, so. That is literally this kid, yeah. Clearly paid for that PC mic and webcam. I think I've had one computer ever purchased for me in my entire life, and it was when I was in junior high school. And it was a piece of shit. But I had a computer, but it was a piece of shit. And I had to fucking pull teeth to get that computer. Because there's a family PC, and I wanted my own PC because I was on it all the time, and people bitch about me being on it all the time. I wanted my own PC. And it took a lot of fucking effort to get my own PC. But once I did, basically it's been uphill battle since then. Well, and slowly gotten better, making do with low-end components and then moving your way up to medium-end components. And then all of a sudden, someday you have a 1080 Ti on your computer and you're contemplating buying a 2080 Ti for $1,200. That's going to make your computer 30% faster, which isn't really even worth looking at. And you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. Honestly, more interested in a new CPU than I am in a new graphics card. My graphics card, because you turn everything on low anyways. I don't know. That being said, you also, the satisfaction you get from buying PC components when you're older, much, much less than when you're a kid. Oh my god. I used to save up all my money to buy games. Everything. I used to mow lawns for money. Worked for my parents for money. just to save up money, just to get some video games. I bought boxes of games. I go to the store and I just pick something off the shelf and I buy it for $50. Really fucking expensive for a kid, by the way. Can you stream on both? No, I am a partner on Twitch, which means I am locked into Twitch. I can't stream on both. Affiliates can stream on both platforms. They aren't locked on. But I've been partnered probably for 5 years. A lot of good it's done me, but maybe that's just more on myself. And it took me 2 years to get partnered on Twitch. And then I did. And not really life-changing. It's just something people work towards, honestly. I think a lot of the illusion, the mythical status symbol of being a partner on Twitch is kind of left. And you just basically getting an affiliate, just you can get subscriptions, and I think you can get transcode options as an affiliate. I'm not sure. That's another big one is transcode, so you can stream at whatever settings you want, and people can watch whatever settings they want. Transcode's a big setting. Sponsors. Okay, so it's equivalent of subscribers. It's kind of... I think I heard something about that, but I'm not familiar with YouTube Gaming. I don't watch it at all. And he obviously has something going on here. He isn't streaming on Twitch because you get banned, and you also need to be 16, I believe, to stream on Twitch. Unless you have your parents' permission, and I think you can't even get partnered or anything like that. But you see down here, he has his subscribers, which I assume is then sponsors. Must be good to be a kid. People just throw money at you and go, "Oh, you're so cute," and you can't really say anything meaningful though. You're like in a null zone. You can get away with so much shit when you're a kid. So much shit. You just think you're cute and cuddly and kind of a dick, but you know you're a kid, right? But yeah, as far as I know, unless it's changed, and I don't keep up with the guidelines, or keep up with the TOS or whatever contract I signed. Something you need a lawyer to read through. I don't keep up with that. But last I checked, it was you can't stream on both platforms. You have to stream on either Twitch or on YouTube. You can't stream both, which is why a lot of big streamers just don't. They release content on YouTube, but they don't stream live to YouTube. They can't do it. Just some insider information for you there. Can't do that. So Ninja Summit, putting aside exclusivity agreements that they may have, Twitch makes you an exclusivity, makes you basically sign an exclusivity agreement whenever you partner. So they just lock you into their system. And I think if I won't get sued if I stream on YouTube Gaming, if they actually care. However, probably get my partnership revoked. So I honestly don't want to do that. I don't think I could get partnership back if I got it revoked. Not that I don't think there's a process in place where you can get your partnership back, because I've seen a lot of channels do it. My channel's just not big enough. So it used to be. My channel's a lot bigger, and now it's not. So maybe on Mixer. Oh, he's definitely on YouTube Gaming. He has a link in there. And say anything Reddit drama? Him? Oh, is this the Ninja Celebration thing?
Like 30 minutes. It is, man.
How much longer until New Year's?
I think like 30 minutes. Let me check.
Squad, we trying to get a squad game in?
30 minutes. We can fit one in.
Because I'm not trying to get another... Dude, do you have any idea how many people who were in my game? People who were in my game? I didn't say anything.
This is on New York Square, too. He had to spend so much money on this.
Are we doing one more game or no?
But he makes so much fucking money. Sucks to be a millionaire.
It is, man.
How much longer until New Year's?
I think like 30 minutes. Let me check.
Squad, we trying to get a squad game in?
30 minutes. We can fit one in.
Because I'm not trying to get another... Dude, do you have any idea how many people who were in my game? People who were in my game? I didn't say anything. Reddit. Get wrecked.
Are we doing
Also fucking hilarious. Tim's with little floof on his head, by the way. That's what you do when you're balding and you're a comedian. Good for Tim. Tim's fucking hilarious to watch, though. He's great at manipulating crowds. Absolutely fucking great at just basically giving people what they want and then making them do what he wants. He's fucking amazing at milking people for money. Holy shit. These guys literally dropped 1 LTM and then dipped. I believe that is from that robbing game. What's it called? Not Postal. Bank robbing game. I don't remember. Yeah, he's funny. He's an entertainer. He's definitely an entertainer. He's not super bad at games either, which is a lot of people give him shit for it. Not pure entertainer, but very much an entertainer. It actually makes me wonder if the older I get, I'm basically going to have to relegate myself to be an entertainer on Twitch, and I can no longer try for performance because I'm just getting too old. That, and I don't have the internet connection. I'm not close enough to servers. I live in Wisconsin. That's not close enough. Like, Fortnite was basically a painful experience of learning how much of a difference a low ping makes in that game. And I can't get a faster internet. Good thing, by the way. Apparently, my city is in talks with a fiber provider. So, in a year to a year and a half, they might start installing fiber, which will then take another 2 years to basically install it. Either that or it's going to be installed over the next year and a half. But I believe they entered in talks with a fiber provider, so I might get fiber in the next 4 years. How fucking wonderful is that, guys? Wow. Competition. Competition, guys. So either they're, like, fiber will be available to the majority of the city in the next year and a half, which I kind of doubt based on how long it takes them to install shit, or they're in talks over the next year and a half. But even then, even if I get fiber, guys, that only means it's going to knock about 10 ms off my ping, which isn't enough. Fiber will generally drop your ping by about 10 ms. My friend that lives outside the city, geographically in a very similar area as myself, gets a 10 ms less ping, give or take, to a lot of different servers. Basically, we tested a bunch of different things, and it's just about 10 ms less. I can go to any place in the city, and it's about the same ping that I get right now, so it's just where you live. Ping is all about geographic region, and the only way to drop your ping is by moving. It's the way it goes. As long as you have a great router, as long as you have a great modem, as long as your provider is not fucking you, it comes down to speed. So you are an analyzer. I am a great analyzer. I am fucking amazing at that, but most people don't want to watch me analyze stuff. That also makes me great at video game development. Hashtag, I'm going to take your job, Donald Mustard. Probably not. He just steals my ideas and then puts them into Fortnite. And then he gets promotions from it. So why would he offer me a job at Epic? That being said, I also have my own game I want to make eventually someday, so I am great at analyzing stuff, though. Makes you great at video game development. It also makes you a great programmer. It makes you great at psychiatry. Anything that is very fundamentally founded. Now, obviously, I don't have any expertise in engineering, but also engineer. Anything that's very fundamentally founded in, like, troubleshooting, going through steps, methodically looking at stuff, and then figuring out what's going on, what you fix, what's broken, and then you gotta swirl it. Game development's all about swirling that little bit of creativity in it. You know, you got that fucking, you have the yogurt, and then you just put a swirl of, like, strawberry in it. You just gotta give it that dollop. You can't just go hardcore into vanilla, and you can't just go hardcore into the sweets. You gotta balance it out, you know, right? A little bit of both. That's what makes video game development so hard, is because programmers are generally very analytical, and they can't, for the life of them, be creative. And then you got creative people, which don't seem to put, you know, like, their brains just, like, all over the place, and they aren't very methodical. They don't really think things out or how it could work. So then you have to pair. That's why game development's so cool. It's like a fusion between being creative and being analytical at the same time. Creative, analytical, problem-solving skills, just the whole works. Just getting that nice fusion. That's also why you get a lot of really shitty games like Alice, where they don't fucking realize that they're trying to sell a game that's literally like Sea of Thieves, but, you know, more in depth. But then they throw the whole fucking survival system in there, and you're just like, you know, like, they should have took that fucking bitch, taking the animal to the chopping block and just started, you know, hacking off different pieces of their game, basically their copy paste of Ark, and they never did that. And it's fucking scary. Engineer, what particular type of engineer? And good. Congratulations. And don't try to be a Twitch streamer ever, guys. Twitch is a backup plan. Not a backup plan. Twitch is what you do in your spare time. And, like, there's almost no rhyme or reason to why people make it big on Twitch. A lot of it definitely is based on your skill. You're getting the kiddies to watch you. Depends a lot on how well you can own people, which once again, it depends a lot on your internet connection. Depending on the game you're playing, depends a lot on the internet connection. Unfortunately, like Fortnite, for instance. Like, some people that play Fortnite are just really bad, but they have a really low ping, so they just do really good. There's a couple big streamers I can think of off the top of my head where just hit registration just makes a huge difference. And they can just build so much faster, so it looks like everyone's a fucking potato. Yeah, Reddit drama? Of course, it's all about Ninja. Ninja. We love listening to community feedback. So they added, in case you missed it, they added a disco, like they basically add the male and female equivalent of skins to the game now. They had pairing. And this is the llama, disco llama skin, only there's a female now, which is like a bear, I guess. For whatever reason, they stopped being creative, I guess, to a certain extent. Our team for Epic is just really fucking amazing, though, in general. Unmasked DJ Bop looks a lot better. It actually was a mask sitting on a person, but now they do this to save polygons and basically, you know, make the game less laggy. You're not supposed to actually see what's inside the suits. The original, like, the Captain Cuddles was, like, they actually had one of the original models from the character and just a helmet over them. Same with the tomato guy. Gone but never forgotten. Fuck 2018. Fuck 2018. Fuck you, 2018. Get that shit. Mechanical engineering student on a 12-week contract with a power generation company at the moment. Cool. You actually have a job for engineering while you're going to school. That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, we covered Atlas in quite a bit of detail. Things that were wrong with the game, things that they did wrong with the game, things that need to be changed. By the way, I kind of want to show you guys. So, I was in the podcast section about a week ago when Atlas launched, and I made a stream in the podcast section of Twitch, the podcast talk section of Twitch for like what we're doing right now. Basically, the start of every one of my streams is something somewhat like a podcast, give or take, right? And I actively compared Atlas, the video on Steam, like we're doing this ad hoc. I was looking at Atlas on Steam. We're looking at Atlas on Steam. And I was going back and forth between Atlas on Steam and then people streaming the game and showing what it looked like where people just like scything wheat and shit. And then I go back to the trailer and I'd show the trailer. I kind of actually want to show you guys just the like fucking like hammer this in stone. Just to hammer this in stone, guys. Let's see. Where were we? Video Game Awards. Not streaming nearly as much. Arc Clone with ships. Yeah, so we'll take a look at this, guys. This is the launch day of Arc, 9 days ago. And what was I doing? I was doing this on Twitch, guys. So it is... Where was it? So basically I was going back and forth between Twitch. And showing what the Atlas streams look like on Twitch. By the way, 170,000 in Atlas. I gave the game a week, and that's basically all it got. Also funny, like, it was like yesterday, they had a really, really huge sponsor stream with a lot of big streamers. They must have paid a lot of money, basically, to get a bunch of advertisement for Atlas. That game is sunk. Ha 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 ha. But anyways, I went through Twitch, and what I did was I showed people what the trailer looked like, and then I showed what the gameplay looked like in the game. And then we went back and forth between the two and showed how basically the survival aspect in Atlas was fucking terrible. Long story short, not here to cover Atlas all over again. However, funny, A couple days later, we have content creators who are doing exactly the same thing. Don't worry though, guys, no one watches my channel ever. No one watches my channel ever. That being said, I don't think, like, that was kind of a medium hanging fruit. That wasn't a low hanging fruit right there. And that's not really a high hanging fruit, but just like went back and forth and showed gameplay from someone else's channel that was streaming Atlas, and then showed what the trailer looked like on Twitch, and then lo and behold, I watched Summit. It was kind of weird how, like, content works, but I was watching Summit, watching another person, I think it was Jack Frakes, who released a YouTube video basically showing off exactly what I showed off a couple days earlier. Not saying that he copied me, but I am the font of all knowledge, and you should watch my channel. Or is it I actually have to show a clip so you guys know that I'm not lying to you and trying to pad my stats.
Look at me flash, boss.
Sure, it's around here.
I love the sound of it shoot, don't you? I knew today was gonna be special.
You do that hand-waving thing all the time, don't I? I'm talking about the content. This is a good way of showing off the content that I'm currently talking about here in the right side. Some streamers literally suck the viewers' cock. Yeah, there's certain levels of... Good word for that. Fanboyism? No. Fan service. There we go. A certain amount of fan service depending on the streamer. Yeah, pretty much. What about Taco Bell? It's too early for Taco Bell. Also, I kind of, like, based on the kind of people that are working around, New Year's and Christmas, I kind of loathe going to fast food right around now because there's a lot of people with very low energy that are just putting in minimal effort. And as such, you get a lot of really shitty food. Yeah, Alice, it's pretty easy. We basically talked about it beforehand. It's like all their other Ark games. There's Ark, there's Age of Conan, and then there is Reign of Kings, and now there's Alice. And they're basically all the same. They all function very similar. It's kind of weird. Because, like, it doesn't seem like their games are really that horrible. They just don't know what they actually... They just don't know what exactly... out of their games, which is kind of weird. Like I said, video game development is a fusion between creativity and... analytics. Analytical. Turning... I just gave you $10. What? No, you didn't. Did the donation tracker not even pop up? Did I miss it, guys? This is... Oh, pizza on me, $10. Oh my god, Skunk! Thank you for the $10, dude. I'll add that to my $1 running total right now. Thanks, broski. I appreciate it. That's like 2 meals, maybe a meal at McDonald's. Taco Bell. I do like the chicken. Did it actually pop up the donation tracker, and did I miss it, or did it just... Fun. Thanks, broski. Yeah. I'm like a big streamer where I can just ignore donations, except I don't ever get donations, so I'm not really a big streamer. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. That is absolutely hilarious. Like, that's one thing I've never been able to do with streaming, and I'd probably be a bigger streamer right now if I could do it, is sucking dick, and I don't really do a good job of that. I fucking hate that. Like, I'll tell you guys how it is. I will give it straight to you guys. You know, I'll tell you my thoughts on something. I'm not going to really sugarcoat things. I do go out of my way just not to be a dick, though. Like, like in my past, you know, in my 20s, I realized that a lot of the time I was overly anal about some things that really just don't matter that much. I was describing the game as schizophrenic. Don't really matter that much. And then you just kind of gloss over them, you know, like where people are wrong, pronunciations and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll correct them, and if people don't take it on, it's fucking funny because my brother just goes fucking ape shit sometimes, where I mispronounce a word and he'll just keep pronouncing it, and I'll just keep mispronouncing it because he's being a pedant. Pedantic? Pedant. I mispronounce pedant.
Pedantic.
Pedant. A pedant. By the way, this is a great word.
Pedant.
Pedant. I just mispronounced the word again.
Pedant.
Pedant? I didn't see it. Huh. It's supposed to be playing right now. It worked earlier. It worked when KSA donated earlier, and now it's not. Like I said, I need to switch to Stream Elements. I think like Streamlabs is like, it's actually kind of weird that they don't charge you any money, but I don't think they really keep up their software. So I did a replay thing where it's supposed to play it again, and it's not doing anything. Okay, let me try this. Fucking wow. Sparkle for some of us men. Aw. I can't repeat a repeated donation. Oh, there it is. Hey! $10! Pizza on me from Skunk. Oh my god. Look at that, guys. Look at fucking that. Isn't that fucking amazing? That's beautiful. Our skins, too. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. There we go.
Look at me flash, boss.
You do you, bro.
I love the sound of it, shooter, don't you? But I knew today was gonna be special.
Bees. 20. Ah! There we go. Yeah. Yeah, just never one of the things I could do is really sucking dick for donations. It kind of makes you feel like a beggar, and it's not really my cup of tea. That's why I've always had multiple jobs while I've been streaming, because I don't really ever want to be in that pool. But if you actually see some of the stuff that some streamers do when they're starting out just to get attention, Dr. Disrespect, for instance, always called out Summit and always tried to get on his stream and basically just haggled for attention every time he could. Even though it meant he'd fail at games like he'd look bad, he just played it off in such a way where he never really looked bad, which is basically his channel in a nutshell. But he got viewership by constantly badgering Summit to watch, basically not only acknowledge him, but then also like 1v1 him and counter-striking that shit. The stuff that Soda Poppin used to do on his stream when he first started out, he like writing crayon on his body, like with like the stuff that cam girls use, body paint. Like he'd write on his body in body paint when he'd get donations. He used to do stuff for donation money on Twitch. That was back when he started. Like, I've been around Twitch a long time. I've seen it all. And so did Papa when he started streaming. Nothing like he is right now. Absolutely nothing. Like, he was like a kid. He'd do, like, anything for money. Absolutely anything for money. Really fucking weird. And you can only do that once in your life before you finally just get over and you're like, yeah, nah, I can't do that anymore. Good. Good. Anyways. Yeah, so we were talking about Atlas and basically how I came up with the idea for comparing basically the trailer to what people were doing in the game, like on launch. It was basically when people were doing it the same night of. I was comparing the two back and forth. And then lo and behold, other content creators doing exactly the same thing a couple days later. You're welcome, Twitch. You're welcome. I am the font of knowledge that all things come from. Of course. Okay. So, moving on here. How to level up quickly in Fortnite. Yep. I don't fucking understand memes, guys. I made an honest trailer of the Boombox because Epic didn't release one. What do you think? Yeah, I'd say, you know, you could argue that, like, prostitutes, for instance, have no self-respect, though, but I actually disagree with that, though, too. We all fight our own battles, right? Sometimes you just have to do what you're good at, or what you can to get by. There's no way they'd still be alive. Well, maybe if they have a low enough ping. Boombox must funk off. What? Okay. I guess no skin wins because he can't build. Is the moral of the story there. My best clip from this year. You get burned out? Yeah. It's like stuff where you kind of like you can't handle as a person doing it constantly. Just kind of weighs on you. Some people are better ignoring that stuff than others. Shut the door, guys. What the fuck? And he still survived. Good job, Xbox player. Someday, guys. Some days I'll have a couple hundred people watching me. Someday. Probably after I get fiber. Probably after Epic fixes their bullshit 4 servers in the US that are all on the East Coast and West Coast. And there'll be central servers in the US. Probably when there's a bigger game on Twitch. Another game on Twitch. I don't know when that's going to be. It takes a long time for there to be like an epic game that comes out on Twitch that just changes everything. Overwatch was there before Fortnite. PUBG kinda I don't think PUBG made nearly as much impact as Fortnite did, or Overwatch for that matter. There was a lot of people streaming it for long periods of time, but it never struck me as a game that was like world changing. It was basically just Arma Battle Royale, right? And before Overwatch, it was H1Z1. For a while there was World of Warcraft. Before even that, going back in time, there were there's like the main games, the bread and butter games on Twitch that everyone streams. And kind of interesting to see where it is this year. I don't know. There wasn't really one in 2017. It was still Fortnite, right? I don't think there was ever a game on Twitch that was... I mean, there was always the games that were... Still live? No, he's not. Always the games on Twitch that, like, they're just there. Like League of Legends, for instance, and Hearthstone and Dota were always just kind of big games. I don't think last year there was really anything. It's always been Fortnite since like 2017. There's more people watching Rainbow Six than there is both. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to play tonight, guys, to be perfectly honest. That's kind of what I'm dreading right now. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't really feel like playing both, but that's really all I have to play. To play a single-player game, I guess. Yeah, last year, not really... always single-player games that popped up for a little bit, like there's those guys that burn out really quick. There wasn't really like a new bread-and-butter game on Twitch last year. Planetside 3. Planetside 3 isn't going to come from that dev team, so... And the game I'm going to make is not going to be Planetside 3. They have some very tough decisions that they have to make as a company, including dumping their engine, cutting off their old player base, drastically changing their game if they want to make another Planetside, for instance. They must have like no capital left. They were trying, was it Planetside Arena or something like that? They're trying desperately hard to integrate like Planetside 2 with Planetside Arena, and then they wanted to make it a pay game on top of it. Like, yeah, no. Like, they were kind of doing what they did with H1Z1 when it came out, where they tried to integrate Just Survive with Battle Royale. And all people wanted to do is play Battle Royale. And they're like, oh, we'll make people play for special keys in Just Survive. So then they play Just Survive to play Battle Royale. They're like, yeah, no. You know how much Save the World you have to play Fortnite? None of it. You don't even need to touch Save the World. They don't even do cross integration, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Fortnite's never gonna die. It's like League of Legends. It's just gonna always be there. Fortnite's never going anywhere. It might shrink in size, but and there might be another Battle Royale game that comes out that that's good. That gives a very different take on Battle Royale, much like Fortnite did with building, and just the way they handle their game is just vastly different than all the other companies. It's more arcadey than anything else. And not to say it's going to be just a hardcore survival game or hardcore Battle Royale game like PUBG or even H1Z1 is more hardcore than Fortnite, for instance. Or Arma Battle Royale. But there's probably going to be another take, because Battle Royale is game mode. It's a genre. Battle Royale is not one game. It's not just Fortnite. It's not just PUBG. It's not just H1Z1. It's not just Arma. It's not just Minecraft. Battle Royale is just the whole idea of a constricting circle that everyone leads up to just one person surviving at the end of the game, or a team at the end of the game. And it's how you do it and how you implement it. Still very, very new. It's in its infancy, and it's going to be... Like, we're going to see a lot of different takes on Battle Royale. Everyone's sick of Battle Royale because, oh, another Battle Royale game. It's just like seeing another deathmatch game or another first-person shooter that's like deathmatch. You know, it happens, right? And we're going to see more Battle Royale games. You shouldn't get sick of something you're going to see for the rest of your life, because that's just the way it's going to be. It's like seeing another MOBA. Oh, it's another MOBA, guys. You know, like, yeah, okay. MOBA's a genre. It exists. I have the feeling Planetside 3 won't be a thing, but I haven't given much thought. Yeah. It'd have to be probably a new company. They have too much dead weight going on there, and honestly, I think they're kind of burned out in general. I think in order to save Planetside 2, they have to make a Planetside 3, though. They have to basically do what Ark's doing. They're gonna have to spit out another game with changed models and shit, and then slightly change things up so they can get a cash injection, which is what Planetside Arena or whatever it is called. They aren't doing a very good job of that. Like, they wanted to integrate with with Planetside 2, and they want to charge money for it, and the teams are too small too. They want to do 3, 4, and 5s, and they need like 5, 7s, and 10s just because of the size of Planetside. And the games are too big because there aren't going to be enough people in the games. We covered the Planetside Arena thing already, or whatever it's called, Planetside Next, Planetside Arena. I don't know. We've already done that. But yeah, last year, as far as games go, yeah, there wasn't really anything last year. So I don't know. I don't know what this year's going to be. Anthem. I am planning on playing Anthem. There's the Division 2. Plan on playing the Division 2 when that comes out. Kind of a shame. No, like, there's a lot of games that actually just kind of, like, they had so much going for them, and then they just wasted away into nothingness. Division, like, technically, it was a great game, and then they just didn't balance the game remotely well, and they weren't on top of, like, their development cycle was too slow. Like, who's the fucking guy that came out that we farmed basically for, like, a couple days because he dropped such good loot? Bullet King? And, like, all people would do is leave the instance, reset it, and they come back in and they kill Bullet King. And it was like free loot, and like you get geared in like a couple days. You get like the best gear in the game just by killing a boss over and over and over again that should have been able to do it. And it took them a week and a half to patch it. And you're like, what are they doing? What are they fucking doing? I can't believe all the stuff they added to the game. The people over there must eat shit and dream Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically any big business that's what it amounts to, is you live your job. That's kind of the way, really, any big business works, is you live your work life. You get paid the big money to do it. So, I'm sure they aren't hurting for money for the people that work at Epic right now. I think smarter people should be born and raised. That's basically Switzerland in a nutshell. So, I talked about Switzerland back when... Oh, I got a boost, or I got a Tinder match, guys. Oh, at 8 in the morning. Who checks Tinder at 8 in the morning and does swiping? Ah, someone's that's taking a shit, obviously. It must be a morning shitter. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Are you actually attractive? Oh my fucking god. I matched with someone from when I was in... I matched with someone from when I was in Switzerland 3 months ago. What the fuck? Are you fucking shitting me? Only 4,300 miles away, guys. He's cute, but 4,300 miles away. Not even joking. In Switzerland right now. It's actually, I think that's from Italy. Yeah, it looked like Italian. Sia Galato, Ivrea University. Yeah, I think that's from Italy. That's the shitty thing, guys. When I was in Switzerland, or not, just in Europe in general, everyone over there is a lot more attractive. They're kind of like stereotypically attractive, but there's so many that are just stereotypically attractive. It's just like the baseline is just being attractive over there. Yeah, it's not 8 a.m. It's probably about 7 hours of Switzerland from me, so it would be 3:20 p.m. So in Italy, it'd probably be about 3:20 p.m., maybe 2:20, depending on which... I don't know if Italy's on the same time. I think Italy's on the same time zone as Swiss. So it's about 3:20 p.m. over there. Tell her of how much you have thought about her seeing a profile, swiping right 3 months ago. You know, Skunk, yeah, you know. Yep. It's actually kind of funny. That isn't the only... I've gotten quite a few matches from Switzerland over the last couple months that have just trickled in. It's one of these weird things where I think if you use... Because the way Tinder works, guys, is if you're on Tinder... and you are a niche interest, meaning you're not a Brad Pitt, you're not stereotypically attractive, you get bumped down in queue. And then people who have more swipes on top, you swipe rights on top you get bumped further and further down in decks. So basically you just never show up, so people never swipe on you, and it snowballs and eventually you just end up at the bottom. So you have to use boosts. Because I'm not unattractive, I know that, but I'm not also attractive to everyone. I'm a niche attractive individual, I guess you could say, especially considering my personality. So in order for people to actually find me that may be interested in me, I have to use boosts. It's basically the system. You're like, it's if you imagine an average level of hotness and you don't fit the criteria for the average level of hotness, you're just never going to show up on people's decks regardless of whether or not they find you attractive. So you have to use things like boosts. But boosts do something weird on Tinder, guys. Boosts do something weird where you basically, it stacks the deck. It says you have to swipe when you're using a boost, but I don't think that's true at all. basically when you use a boost, it stacks the deck for I don't know, like certain. It must be either percentage or of users in an area, percentage of users in your area, or a certain number of users, up to a certain number of users. And basically what happens is, like, that was a boost match, so you leave and someone is inactive on their account, and then you swipe on them, they're inactive on their account, and then they start up their account, 3 months later because they broke up, they had a bad relationship, they broke up, maybe it's the holidays and they're bored, and they aren't really interested that much in their current significant other. Then they start swiping again. There's all sorts of reasons people take breaks from Tinder or wherever dating apps. They start swiping again, and they'll swipe on you because you're stacked on their deck because of boost, and then lo and behold, you get a match from 4,300 miles away. Like I mentioned, that's not the only time this happened. I've gotten matches probably a dozen or so times after I've left, maybe even more than that, maybe about a dozen times since I left Switzerland, from people in Europe that are 4,000 miles away from me, which is fucking hilarious because you can't really, that's like a mood killer right there. You can't really, you pay for boosts. One of the reasons that not everyone does it is because you have to pay for it, or it comes with a monthly subscription. I don't even do the monthly subscription because there's no reason. The only useful thing for the monthly subscription is boosts, and basically I just buy packs of them, and that's when I'll use them on occasion whenever I feel the mood is right, or maybe I'm in a new geographic area, and you want to get ahead. Why a lot of people don't use them. It's the only way to get, like, for me personally, if you're a niche individual and you think you're not going to appeal to everyone, but you're still attractive in some way. There's some people that just aren't attractive. I'm sorry. That's just the way the world goes. Just people won't see you until you use a boost. It's just how it happens. Bumble, on the other hand, it seems to alternate between people that have swipes, that are attractive and unattractive, who haven't been swiped a lot, so it'll go back and forth between the two. Tinder just buries you. You're just gone. You're fucking gone on Tinder. It's like you have to swipe so much to actually get to a point where you can see people that are buried. It's not, you can't get matches without it. Generally, you can't get matches without it. I've tried Bumble. Yes. No. I mean, you both still swipe. It's like Tinder, but she has to message first, which is hilarious because a lot of women are not very great about messaging first. They like to act all dominant and everything, but when it comes to making the first move, equal rights and shit like that, it's all about the guy swinging his dong around and them basically taking a hatchet and chopping it off if they don't like it. That's dating in a nutshell for guys, is you got to slap your dick around, see what it gets you, and hope it doesn't get chopped off too much. For all intents and purposes, they're like, oh, just be respectable, just be yourself, and it's actually just basically about putting on a show. That's what they like. Tinder is another thing, is like corny pickup lines are basically what people go for on Tinder, and I'm not good at that, so. Yeah, they are, but I don't know, depends on the female as well, depends on the individual, but a lot of them generally are like, and they'll just sit there and like, Yeah, like Bumble is just kind of, it's fucking scary. And if they do message you on Bumble, it is the smallest acknowledgement of your existence anywhere. It's like, on Tinder, for instance, they're like, don't start a message with hi. You can do something else other than hi. And then you're on Bumble, and they start out with hi, hey, or hello, or we matched or something. Like, zero effort whatsoever. Absolutely no effort. And, like, trying to get conversations started on Tinder is extremely difficult. Fucking annoying as shit. Like, the amount of effort that you have to put in just to get, like, a couple word response out of people is just insane. Like, you try to have a conversation with them, and they're just like, yeah, ... or hee-hee, or tee-hee, or tee-hee-hee. The sound no one ever makes in real life. Fucking stupid. But yeah, they have a lot of options. Online dating, it's still one of these things. I think online in general still has to, you haven't really reached equilibrium, especially for like gaming females, like equilibrium of the same number of males and females that play games, for instance, or geeks in general. That's drastically increasing. I wish I grew up basically 10 years ago, or 10 years later. So yeah, I wish I was born 10 years later than I was, simply because of the amount of people and the amount of geeks that are in school right now. amount of females that are nerdy or geeky has vastly increased. It's funny too, because on Tinder you'll see people call themselves a nerd, and basically they're like outdoorsy people, and you're like, I don't, they don't know what they want. Yep, and don't imply that they don't know what they want, because then they'll tell you how much that they hate when people suggest that they don't know what they want. They want you to think that they know what they want when they don't really know what they want, and you just have to make sure you don't suggest that they don't know what they want, because then it will offend them. Straight from Switzerland. Get some smams, guys. Where do they sell them on Amazon? Oh, Starburst. They exist. Why is Google not giving them smams? Oh. I don't even think you can get these in the US. Smams fruit. These are totally better than Starburst, by the way. 100%. Anyways, Overwatch Reddits, guys. I just have to commit to the combo. As I mentioned before, quick or competitive play in Overwatch is definitely down. The amount of clips you just see from people that just aren't playing competitive. Insane. I have a really nice computer, and Jesus. I've been playing Overwatch on my potato of a laptop since it came out. We're talking lowest possible graphics on a laptop, constantly lagging. I've saved up for years to afford the sick gaming computer, download the game, and wow. Like, I know it's been out for years. I know it's not realistic graphics, but the game is beautiful. Bridget has freckles. There are little plants in the ground in the lunar map. Signs have writing on them. I don't really know anyone to gush about this with, so I thought I'd just remind everyone to look at it with new eyes and think about how pretty everything is and how much work was put into the tiny little details. Happy New Year. And then you just turn everything down. Maximum FPS. You must protect your fellow support. Our engineers are all damn men, yeah. My brother is a doctorate in engineering. My programming courses when I was at the U, basically all males as well, relatively. Usually like entry-level programming courses, there'd be a female or a couple females in there, and they'd either drop out or they'd just do like an entry-level course just to get a feel for it, and then they just want to go any further with it. Another thing about Europe is when you're over there, there's a lot more females in technical jobs over there. Like, they actually choose to do technical jobs like being a police officer or construction worker, electrician. Like blue-collar work that generally guys do over here and women generally don't do. And it's not because they can't do it. They just don't want to do it because a lot of it sucks. Not a lot of it. Like, there's some blue-collar jobs that actually pay really well, like an electrician or a plumber. Let's say auto mechanic, that depends, though. You can see in the word unlock every day, or maybe you can actually unlock it just by playing the game. Now you buy and purchase instead. Hey, look, it's another bitch post about skins. I thought he was talking about Reddit, and it was thumb in cheek. It's not. Okay. Alrighty, guys, so what to do, guys? I can't play HOTS. I can't stream HOTS, so because no one wants to watch HOTS. Honestly, after last night, I kind of got burned out on HOTS. I played a lot of it yesterday, and I got burned out. I don't really want to play both. I don't want to do Blackout. Play a single player game. I have Oxy. I love Overwatch. It's a fun game. It's shooting constantly without any long sort of firefights and battles. It just seems like a process of loading sausages. I'd say the whole game is just a long battle. Like, to me, when I was playing that game, it felt like the whole game was action. That's one of the reasons people can't handle watching it, is because it's just one giant, long battle, and people don't have an attention span for it. Women are kind of nuts. I don't like stereotyping whole groups of individuals. I think a lot of it has to do with hormones. I don't mean that as a hormonal imbalance. I think it has a lot to do with testosterone versus estrogen. Where estrogen makes you more of a kind of a feeling type. Testosterone makes you more kind of analytical. Analytical. Also increases your sex drive a lot. And women with higher amounts of testosterone are actually a lot more fun to talk to. I'm not even joking about this. I've talked and had a lot of conversations with women over the years, especially in my 20s. And the types that are actually more enjoyable to be around, interact with, and talk to generally have elevated amounts of testosterone. They look more masculine. Acne. Just weird things. Less feminine, like, you know, not just like round bosoms and buttocks and everything that people find attractive as far as maternity goes. Maternal looks, more feminine looks, but rather just they act a lot more like guys, and some even have conditions like PCOS, for instance, that lead to elevated amounts of testosterone. And they're generally the types that are more interesting and more fun to talk to be perfectly honest. And they act more like guys. I hate girly girls. That's just me personally. Not a fan of girly girls. People that act really feminine. Everything's a fucking diva. Drama. Not talking super athletic either. Like, if we're talking hormones, you don't need like, you can have elevated amounts of testosterone and not be super athletic. But generally the drive is different, to be perfectly honest. It seems different. I'm not sure though. I'm still figuring that one out because no one else ever talks about that, but I'm pretty sure that's actually what kind of what most guys are looking for, to be perfectly honest. It's women that act like guys, which actually there was a lot of when I was in Europe, by the way. A lot of women over there act more masculine, just more laid back, more just interact with you more like guys do. It's less of an experience and more just something you do, like if you're just bullshitting with your friends, that sort of thing. Less of a, oh my god, I'm talking to a girl, oh my god, I'm talking to a guy sort of thing. They've never really gone. Overwatch is fun, but insanely frustrating, yeah. It's like one of the games I've contemplated going back to. We've had this discussion multiple times. I've considered going back to Overwatch. But generally, people don't want to watch you unless you're a top 500 streamer. I never made it that... Well, I made it to mid-level GM. Oh, these aren't even English streamers. Okay. He's not Overwatch. No, he's kind of an Overwatch streamer. Not playing comp though. Off day. There's some people that are just really, really fucking good too, and they don't even have that many people watching them. Fortnite is such a fertile ground, guys. People generally only want to watch competitive play in Fortnite too. And not really something I enjoy doing, so. It's like one of the reasons people didn't want, like I thought about going back to Overwatch but didn't, is because I'd have to play competitive. And it's definitely a game that people have a difficulty watching. Following. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to consider it, because I don't have a game right now, guys. We're just bullshitting. I don't know what I want to do. So, I probably should play both and see what's changed and how different it is. I really don't... Like, the weird thing is, like, both, even though there's 9,000 people watching, 2/3 of these don't even play Blackout. They just play the normal game. This is all deathmatch. A couple people playing Blackout. Which is a Battle Royale. Blackout, 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 maybe blackout. Blackout. Yeah, like most of these, even the big streams, most of these big streams aren't even blackout, they're deathmatch. Oh. Happy New Year, sup, bro? Yeah, he's literally like an aimbot. Possibly even an aimbot, because I've seen him play other games and he doesn't really play nearly as well as he does in Overwatch. So maybe either a very select skill set or possibly cheating, I don't know. Blackout is Battle Royale for Black Ops. So what to play, guys? Where is it in Heroes Storm? Like, I could just become a hot streamer. Everyone's gonna hate me. Everyone is literally in the first 2 streams. I don't know, guys. What to do? This is what I've been thinking about, and I just haven't been gone live because basically we're gonna sit here. I don't know what to do. I could play a single-player game. That's always an option. However, I'm looking for a game that I can actually play for a prolonged period of time. There really isn't anything like that. I mean, I can stream HOTS. Last time I streamed HOTS, the community was kind of dicks. A lot of toxic people in the HOTS community. The game in HOTS is just absolutely fucking horrible. Chat in HOTS is fucking terrible. Watch them play Fortnite. That is debatable. Like, I think Calvin isn't even on a professional team. I don't think he's ever offered it. Like, he never took a professional team, which is kind of interesting in itself. Either he never was offered or he never actually accepted an offer for a professional team by his skill level, which is kind of interesting. Yes, not my cup of tea. I played chess when I was younger. You scared of an FPS? Yes, no. There just aren't any. Fortnite I'm not playing until they add new servers. Alice? We can play fucking Alice. That's not really fun. Everything I described about Alice, guys, just appeared in other people's videos like 2 to 3 days later. This. Oh. Like, while I'm looking at games here, guys, there's nothing that feels as though I could grow my channel by streaming it. Or that I would actually enjoy playing. Like, there's games here that could grow my channel, but there's a lot of games that I just wouldn't enjoy playing, like PUBG, for instance. League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, or Hearthstone. No, not a professional... A pro player for Overwatch. Overwatch League player. Not for Fortnite. Yeah? Did it have like 12 people watching it? Not super amazing at chess either. Fucking posers. Streaming custom maps. Fuck you guys. Oh, when I was younger, I'm currently 25. When I was younger, I played Warcraft 3 custom maps too. Apparently, when you're like 7, you know how to play custom maps. You know exactly where to go and what to do. 7-year-olds. I have, by the way, that's candy from Christmas. I still have so much candy from Christmas. So we could do single player games. I could do a Witcher playthrough, Witcher 3 playthrough. Oxy is up for a playthrough again. What's the other one? Or I don't remember. There's another one in here somewhere. Like the censorship. Like I said, kind of weird stuff when you have the offer basically to make a career for yourself and you turn it down. Usually a reason for that. There's tons of other people that have been offered opportunities. Yeah, censorship, like who's XQC or whatever his name is, who's gotten banned like 30 times from Overwatch Leagues for doing stupid shit. Yeah. What does it even mean, possessed? Yeah, I already ate my chocolate. I just had a bar earlier tonight. I had got them from Switzerland, or my brother got them from Switzerland. They're like cheesecake, like white chocolate with pieces of dried strawberries in it, and like kind of like a granola. Actually, really, really good. Made by... I forgot who they're made by, but they're available over there in Switzerland. Really, really good. I had one before I left, and I asked him to bring some back when he came. Brought 2 with him. Be strong. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, basically the only thing that like I could actually contemplate playing right now is both or Overwatch. And I don't really think like Overwatch, I don't think that's gonna go anywhere, and both almost no one. Both these are just fucking games that just don't want to play. And there's like no one that they're both really just bad. Fortnite's really where it's at right now. But I don't have a connection for it, so these smaller big streamers. You have your ping on. Some of these guys were made because of the winter skirmishes too. Like they exist because of the winter skirmish. By the way, Fortnite, the Fortnite has to be a lot of these people I can't handle actually watching. Like, I tried watching some of these smaller streamers who just basically freak out constantly and just scream. I don't know how people can watch them. I really don't. Like, they have no redeemable quality except for, like, their skill in a game. Funny ping fuck. If you're in Europe, you usually have a lower ping. This guy's a ping of 5. Good. That's what happens when you have servers that are literally all over the place. Weird. Now we're getting down. We're getting down to it. He has a ping of 100. He must be playing cross. Dead by Daylight. Thought about that. Not really my type of game. That game's been out for a long time. Either this guy's a ping of like 15 or he's a ping of like 78. Can't tell. He's using like, I don't know if the stretch is just video quality just really bad. Another 20 ping fuck. I'm pretty settled on 25 MS being where you need to be to actually succeed in Fortnite. Just like, it's like the entry level to high level gameplay is a ping of 25 and lower. And then if you get down like 10, it's like turning on easy mode. Like the game feeds you free kills. This is another, I literally can't handle watching this guy. Like Tfue, only worse in like every regard. It's like screaming shit talk. He's like Mitch Jones, screaming shit talk. 5 or 10. He has a ping of 50. Let's see. He's another 25 pinger. Maybe a little bit higher than that. It's tough to tell because the ping gauge in the game is not always accurate. Sometimes it's lower and sometimes it's higher. By a lot. It can be really far off. You have to kind of look at the distribution for the ping. Play any solos. You know people are bored of your game if they never play solos anymore. Yeah, he's another 25er. I'm pretty sure its entry level is 25 MS. You play Star Citizen? No, that's a stinker too. Something I actually look back on as far as bad video game developments goes, but an absolutely successful Kickstarter. I actually at one point was scared that Star Citizen might be doing what I want to do for a video game, and that took like a year to figure out that they weren't going to do anything remotely related to it, and it almost seems like they aren't serious about releasing a game. They're really good at getting money out of you, though. You shoot fireworks in the USA? No, it's snowing here. There were fireworks going off last night, but it's like snowing and slushy right now. I think Calvin makes plenty streaming a lot easier than being a professional player. Probably. Yeah? Is that good, sup, bro? Good. There's a base of people that enjoy watching someone kill others online. Kind of sounds like the gladiators, right? You mean stream sniping? We watched one of those earlier tonight. Never played Fortnite solo, only with friends, yeah. So your desire to play Fortnite is pretty small. If you don't play alone and you only enjoy it with friends, friends make everything better. What to do, guys, when you don't know what to do? You eat, obviously. Being bored is actually one of the worst things for gaining weight. Just eat because you're bored. Although I didn't actually have dinner, so my dinner has consisted of a chocolate bar, Spams, a can of soup, and now jerky. I love jerky. I never get it. So fucking expensive. No. Basically, everyone has plans, so we don't schedule LAN parties around dates when people are busy. I think next LAN party is in like 2 weeks. Oh, she has a big ping. Huh. I wonder what's attractive about her, that people watch her. Really old jerky. Kind of gets gritty, nasty. It's not as succulent. Springy. Yeah. Is it painstakingly hard to make home jerky? I don't think so. It takes effort, though. You tell it's jerky by the sound of the packet. It's that ripping sound that it makes when you open up the packet and you take off the top. Covered up his ping with a bar. Use a dehydrator. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I think because it's just protein. A lot of protein. A lot of sodium, too. You almost have to drink. You have to have water with jerky. Potatoes or rice. Yeah, they're good fillers. Vegetables can do that too. You just eat enough. Vegetables are one of those things where you can just eat them and they basically have no, I want to say no nutritional content, but there's like no calories, no fat, no saturated fat, nothing that's really bad for you. You can just eat as many vegetables as you want. This guy's a French streamer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, jerky is the most expensive thing in the world. Look at this. This is 2.5 ounces. This is like 2.5 ounces, which is about 81 grams. And it costs you like fucking $5. Tastes great though. You manually juice every day? Yikes. Something you have like a butler do for you. Sir, sup, bro? Would you like your juice this morning? With or without pulp? It sits here and goes like this all the time. Even using a normal juicer is a huge pain in the ass. The amount of fruit that you have to use to get a glass of orange juice is insane. Or apple juice. Birds and fish, stay away from red meat. General. Red meat's just terrible for you. turkey's great, dude. Good turkey can actually taste like beef. I'm not even lying. Like, if they season it right, it tastes almost identical to beef. I used to not eat turkey a lot, and, you know, then I got older and started caring about how long I was going to live. And then I was like, oh, I'll eat turkey. I had turkey and chicken. Turkey burgers taste almost identical to hamburgers. Good ones. Five oranges give a liter of orange fresh juice? No. No. Takes 2 to 4 oranges to make a cup of juice.
Good morning and happy Wheatless Wednesday. I am looking at a bunch of oranges. Do you know how many real oranges it takes to make a glass
Do you know, sup, bro?
of orange juice? This whole stack made about 3 glasses this size. Well, filled. That is the best thing about Arizona. I have oranges, and it is December 9th. Yay!
Yay. Now you know, sup, bro. It takes a lot. It takes a deceptively large amount of fruit to make a glass of orange juice. Yay! I mean, it's like, there's no worse than what you guys are watching right now. I'm eating jerky. You're looking at a ping test, and I can't show you what I'm actually watching on my left screen. I was trying to motivate myself to either play Fortnite or, like, both. Maybe you threw the rinds in with it. Oranges look like cocks. I think we're possessed. I think we're on the wrong page here. I'll have to flip that one. It could be it's not a liter. A liter's like fucking like this. Could be you're using more pulp. It could be you're using the... I doubt you're using the rinds. I could just become a single player streamer, guys. You know, it's one of the things that I recognize would actually make my channel better. But I'm not really that into single player. Like, I need to play multiplayer games. I need to have interaction with other people. Otherwise, I'd get bored. I can't just be a single player streamer. Even though I know it'd actually be a good idea for my channel. I just do what Ko does and just play single player games where no one can ever compare you to anyone else, ever. And people can follow around the story, and they come back to watch the rest of a game that you're playing. There's indie gamers, there's single player gamers. There's like multiplayer gamers. That's the thing, Possessed. Like, that's what people want to watch. But I can't do that because I don't have the Lancy to do that. Like, H1Z1. Like, there is a correlation between how many matches I won and how many viewers I have. It's almost a direct correlation between the two. It's like your performance in the game and how many people are watching you. it doesn't hold true. It doesn't hold true when you're talking about single-player games or anything that's more about your personality. Also, entertainers that don't really, you know, they might just stream random things, but it's more about the experience of their stream, like Dr. Disrespect or C's, Tim. I'd say Tim's kind of in between, though. Tim's fucking lucky. He has like 18 MS connection to Fortnite. You want to buy me another pizza? I'm really enjoying this jerky, to be perfectly honest. You want me to get pizza, but this jerky is actually really good. A gimmick is a thing. I don't want to do it. If you ever go on Twitch and you see people, instead of using a face cam, they use avatar. I actually prefer the peppered, but sweet isn't bad, and teriyaki not bad either. Oh, this cow is mooing to me, guys. Hear this? Hear it? Moo. 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 What's going on? Moo. Moo. That's not me. That's not me. Could be. Love jerky so much. This is so good. Still have no idea what we want to play, guys. By the way, do not eat the salt packet or preservative packet. Oxygen absorber. I would actually say this wasn't spicy enough. It needed a little bit more spice to it. Oh my god, brain. Backstreet Boys music. I actually... It's funny. Before Dr. Disrespect came around on Twitch when I was streaming H1Z1, and PlanetSide 2, I'd on occasion play 80s music. But then he just fucking stole that shit, so 80s electronica. Catch you later, Danny. 2 a.m. You're 7 hours behind me? That means you're like in Hawaii? No, Alaska or Hawaii? Weird. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Been live for 3.5 hours, still not playing a game. Your stream on the Roku Twitch app is really fucked up. It restarts every 10 seconds. Does anyone else's stream do that, or is it just mine? Could be because I have surround sound on my stream. One of the things I did last year was I turned on surround sound. I thought, you know, it'd be cool for people that have surround sound systems, but I think actually there's, it's broken in various ways. Be an attack helicopter in War Thunder. One watches War Thunder. There is a total of 330 people watching. I actually thought about doing MMO FPS's Warframe. Still considering it. That could sink a lot of time into something like Warframe. So when Warframe is not popping with the partner program, there's like no one watching it. There's more people watching HOTS. Although all the people watching HOTS are like in the top channels, so. Yeah. 2,700 people watching. First two channels have roughly 1,500 people. Morning, Finley. No sound from you real quick. I think it's because maybe I'll have to turn that off. So I have surround sound. You can literally watch my stream in surround sound if you have a surround sound system, and you can play it, and you'll be able to hear like people shooting shots around me, like I can hear myself. I think it's really fucking cool. However, there seems to be compatibility issues, so apparently no one tells me about it, because I wonder how many people just stopped watching my channel because the sound isn't working properly. Although I think that's just a mobile bug. I think I've heard people on Apple not being able to hear things properly. I could just load up the Twitch app and look at my channel too. Refresh the Twitch app. Actually look at my... I have to search for it? I think I do. Those are your dashboard when you're streaming on the app, but not... Lou? Lou stream. I don't think it's playing the music. Good. Good. So apparently surround sound is broken on mobile devices. You know how long I've had surround sound on for, guys? Jesus fucking Christ. No, it is. Really, really quiet. Oh, okay. So it is working. Oh. What was... I don't want the stream. How do you actually exit the stream? It's at the bottom of my phone. Oh, there he goes. You just swipe on it. Okay. So, it is working. Alright. Thanks, Brain Mauler. Happy New Year's. Yes. Huh. So maybe it's just broken on some mobile devices. Not on other mobile devices. Perfectly honest, guys, I just really enjoy playing HOTS. Maybe we'll play some HOTS here for like an hour and contemplate my life and how horrible people try to shit on my channel while it's happening. Just for shits and giggles here. Maybe I'll even keep the music playing in the background just so you guys have something to listen to. Honestly, I don't feel like playing both right now. I don't have any. A lot of women in Wisconsin are just really ugly. There's a lot of them that are single mothers as well.